Good afternoon and welcome to Waco ISD Stadium in Waco, Texas for today's regional semifinal playoff game between the Hendrickson Hawks and the Sachse Mustangs. Hello everyone, Steve Reese here, joined by my partner Scott Powell. And Scott, I tell you what, for the Sachse Mustangs uncharted territory, they come in for the first time ever in the third round, so it's going to be, some pressure on them. But for the Hendrickson Hawks, let's talk a little bit about them. Not many people know about them.
They have never made it past the fourth round, so these are two teams hoping for a first state championship. They did make the playoffs every year from 2008 to 2016, but missed the playoffs last year. They got off to a 2-3 start this year, so they had to be wondering if it was going to be back-to-back years. But they've won every game since their opening district loss and have looked pretty good doing it. DJ Jackson, by far their best offensive player, 1,200 yards rushing. Red Barons told me this week that he is very fast, and that is their biggest concern about their offense.
Well, I tell you what, Sachse coming off a big win against Rockwall. We're looking for a good one tonight. Coming up after these messages, our kickoff. One man to beat, he cuts back inside. He's going to attempt for a touchdown. Yes, on the board. Got it. And that is a touchdown, Rowlett. Back, he's headed towards the end zone, touchdown. Welcome back to Waco ISD Stadium as we get set to get our game kicked off. We have the Hendrickson Hawks versus the Sachse Mustangs. This is the regional semifinal round. A look at Coach Red Barons, and he has guided his team to 2 early wins here in the playoffs.
Steve, you can't find a better day for football as the wind is light, and if it blows at all, it'll be out of the south. The flags are barely moving. We've got a mostly overcast sky and a wonderful temperature in the 70s. You just couldn't draw up a better day for football.
Gorgeous day, and these guys are not going to have the sun to fight with. It doesn't appear, as you mentioned, the cloud cover is going to help out quite a bit.
It is a North-South stadium. Don't get me wrong. It's not a Jerry World stadium where the sun would be in your eyes at one end or the other. But anyway, the other thing I was going to say is I have a saying about days like this. I wish you could bottle these type of days and sell them at the drugstore.
Exactly.
You could make some money off of a day like this.
You definitely could. It's in the mid-70s in December, so.
Yeah, some people don't like that, but during the football season, I'm sure the players love this. And tonight will be a perfect night for football wherever they're played. There'll be a bunch of games played tonight.
As you see, the captains meeting in midfield. The Mustangs have won the toss. They are deferring to the second half.
By the way, the winner of this one will get the winner of the night game over at Baylor, just across the way between Coppell and I believe it's Cedar Ridge. Yeah, so that'll be next week.
So you saw the coin toss there, and Hendrickson will receive first. We're getting ready for some playoff football here. We mentioned earlier, Hendrickson comes in with a record of 9-3 overall, 5-1 in district play. Their 2 playoff wins, they won the by-district round against Austin Bowie with a score, or by a score of 44-21, and then last week beat Klein in the area round 14-7.
Klein has a good football team. That is a very good win for Hendrickson.
Of course, for the Mustangs, they come in 12-0, 6-0 in district play. Their 2 playoff games, they beat Lake Highlands in the by-district round 49-28. And then last week, a great game at Garland ISD Stadium, defeating Rockwall in the area around 24-17.
And the one score you gave that worries me the most, not just that they beat Klein, they held Klein to 7 points. And, the strength of this Sachse team in a lot of cases is their offense. I think that'll be a matchup to look out for today.
We are just about set to get underway here as the ball is teed up by the Mustangs, and the Hawks will send 2 back deep to return. It's going to be a high end over and kick. It's going to come down around the 10. This one looks to be returnable, and he gets out across the 25-yard line. Does the return man? He thinks he wasn't touched down, but they do indeed whistle it down. That's number 4 for Hendrickson, Jacob Lee, with the return.
That was a dangerous return. I thought it might go for more. If he had broken that one tackle that made the tackle, I think he would have gone a pretty good distance right up the middle. Something to look for. Hopefully we'll have a lot of kickoff returns from the Pflugerville team this afternoon. As you see here on the replay, they blocked it fairly well.
So the Hawks start on offense. They've got a 1st and 10 at their 0-28. And the defense for the Mustangs want to set the tone early here. There's a snap, the handoff, or pardon me, the fake handoff, and the quarterback's going to try to keep it to the left side. He doesn't get much at all. The quarterback is a junior for Hendrickson, Blaine Barker, and the stop made right there by number 44 of the Mustangs, Jordan Brooks.
Barker likes to run the ball. He's the second leading rusher on the team, so keep that in mind. But the kid to look out for is DJ Jackson. He's got really good speed, according to Sachse head coach Red Behrens. They do not want to let him get free, and he is number 22 in that offensive backfield as you look on.
Barker with a gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. There's the snap, and he's going to keep it himself, this time to the right side. He gets a block, but boy, the Sachse defense and that speed gets him in a hurry. Number 10, Bryce Robinson in there for the stop, and they're going to lose 2 on the play.
And Bryce Robinson is now the leading tackler on this team because Cedric Johnson was lost to a blown-out knee last week, and he was the top tackler, so that puts a little more pressure on Robinson, especially Cedric's replacement, Kilo Starnes. Keep an eye on him. Although he comes in as the 3rd leading tackler, Steve, that's a good backup to move in there and start when you're the 3rd leading tackler.
Absolutely. 3rd down and long here for the Hawks. Just underway here at Waco ISD Stadium. Fakes a handoff, play action. He looks, and the catch, I believe, is made, but he's going to be about a yard short of the 1st down.
Interesting, it was a comeback route, and by the time the ball got there, he was a yard short of the 1st down, and it also looked like it was partially tipped on a little crossing defensive play there. But coming back to the ball, he had to go to the ground immediately. That cost him the 1st down. Interesting, in their own territory, will they go or punt? Boy, I would punt early in the game like this.
That was Jalen Taylor with the catch, and right now it looks like they're going to drop back in punt formation. 4th down and 1, as we mentioned, and the Mustangs send 1 back to return it. And the high kick is going to be a fair catch, but number 9, Drew Jackson, going to back off and let the ball roll, and it's going to take a Hawk roll inside the 35, and they're going to start 1st and 10 at the 33.
Give you the yardage on that punt. It was not beautiful and didn't get a lot of roll. You're looking at only about 30-yard punt there into the wind, whatever wind there is. Again, it's very light, but remember, it is in Hendrickson's face here in the 1st quarter. And here come the Mustangs.
Yeah, look at the, just saw the senior quarterback, Jalen Maiden of the Sachse Mustangs. This offense so potent, it has been all year. They're averaging better than 450 yards on the season per game. There's a snap, Maiden with the quick throw out. The catch is made by number 7. That's that quick throw and catch to Derek Rose, and that's going to net about 6 yards.
Well, he didn't get much blocks from the receiver over there, including Drew Jackson. You'll see here on the replay, it also was to the short side of the field, which makes it even tougher, but you got to get blocks from those wideouts.
Maiden, another quick throw. The catch is made by Miles Nash, and he's going to have the 1st down close to midfield. So a nice quick start here for the Mustangs, 2 plays and a 1st down.
According to Red Behrens, the head coach, they said that they will give you a little bit of a soft secondary, 4 deep secondary. So they're going to be able to dink him, it looks like, all afternoon, and they're dinking again.
Another quick throw once again. This time not as much yardage as throw once again to Derek Rose out in the right flat. Tackle made there by number 10 of the Hawks.
I mean, that kind of defense, a soft coverage, really just plays right into the Mustangs' hands. They can go deep on you, but they really prefer the dinking and dunking like they're doing right now.
There's a snap, fake handoff. Maiden's going to keep it himself to the middle of the field, looking for some blocks, and a penalty flag is thrown.
We also got an offensive lineman without a helmet on, which happened early in the play.
This is usually in the area of holding.
Desmond Nixon is going to have to come out for a play. That's never good. By the way, let me give you an injury update. One of their other offensive linemen, I'm trying to think of his name, and I'm trying to find it. He is questionable today with an injury, and they hope that he'll play. And I just cannot put my hand on his name right now. So I'll have that for you shortly.
No problem. We see more and more the illegal use of hands to the face call. That one goes against the Hawks, gives the Mustangs an automatic 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 30. Maiden, direct snap, takes it up the middle of the field, and he's going to be wrapped up after a short gain of about 2.
It's Calvin Barkat, and I don't think he's in there right now, number 76. is not in the starting lineup, so that is not a good sign. But Sachse has a lot of depth on their offensive line. During the season, they constantly were playing 8 and 9 linemen, so that'll pay off in a situation like this.
Second down and 8. The snap, the first carry of the game for number 5, Christian Cole. Between the center and right guard for about 6 yards. It's going to set up third down and short.
Cole coming off of possibly one of his best games of the year when you consider it was a playoff game. Might have been his best game. 184 yards on 23 carries, and especially in the first half. He got a lot of that in the first half in that big win over Rockwall last week. And a lot of it was between the tackles, Steve.
Third down and 3, a big third down here early in the ball game. There's a snap. Maiden hands it off to Cole. Big hole in the right side, and he's going to go for a touchdown. Oh, they're going to mark him out at the 4, it looks like. So I guess they said he stepped out there, Scott.
Well, they're going to mark it at the 1. The official stopped at the 4 initially and then moved forward to the 1. So it got better by the second. Let's see what our replay tells us, Steve. Good call, bad call. Did he step out?
Cole had daylight, and they're going to say right there. It does look like he indeed stepped out, but it is going to be inside the 1. So first to go, Mustangs.
And a gain of 22 on the play. The Stangs are rolling. You know, they get on one of these rolls. A well-oiled machine is what I call it when they're really going.
Send Trent Denny in motion. They're going to hand it off to him coming to the right side. He's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. And the Mustangs strike first here at Waco ISD Stadium.
Nice drive, 66 yards, 8 plays. Look at the blocking on the perimeter from the wide receivers on that little jet sweep. That time the receivers did their job and held off and engaged the defenders.
So the extra point attempt by number 89 of the Mustangs, Peyton Reyes. There's a snap and hold. The kick is up, and that kick is good. So the Hawks have it one time. They have a 3 and out. The Mustangs take over. They drive down the field and score. Our new score with 7:17 remaining in the first quarters. You take a look at Christian Cole and Jalen Maiden on the sideline. The Sachse Mustangs 7, the Hendrickson Hawks 0. We'll be back after these messages. Nothing. Sachse with the early lead. A nice drive there, Scott, for their first possession of the game.
2:36 off the clock, 8 plays, 66 yards. They got 51 total yards, including 32 on the ground in the drive.
Here comes the return by number 5, I believe, of the Hawks. It's Timione Jackson.
Early in the drive, Maiden was 3 out of 3 on those quick out passes for 19 yards. Cole got 26 yards on just 2 carries, and that was what powered the drive.
Also, of course, aided by that 15-yard penalty for legal use of hands to the face.
Never hurts.
And let's see what the Hawks can do here on offense for the second time this afternoon as they trail now 7-0.
1-2-3 punt their first time and lost a yard on the drive.
There's a snap to handoff this time to the right side. Pretty big opening out here, and he breaks containment down the sideline and pushed out of bounds close to the 40. Actually, they're going to say he gets to the 42.
Well, the first time we've seen Jackson, the first time we've seen that speed, you see the difference in the speed when you can get a guy with speed wide. There were Mustangs out here with decent angles, and he got one block and then just beat the angles up the sideline. Speed burns, speed breaks down angles. That was a good practice run for the Sachse defense there. Hopefully they're used to that speed now.
1st and 10 at the 42. There's a snap, another handoff, and this time the defense does a little bit better job of staying home.
Steve, for years I've heard coaches say you cannot simulate certain things in practice. You cannot simulate this running back in practice, or you just don't have anybody that good except for Christian Cole, of course. So after you see them run once, they'll hopefully be ready for it the next time.
Gain of only 2 on that first down carry, 2nd down and 8. Got 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. The slot receiver is stacked. There's a quick throw out of the backfield, and they're looking for number 22 once again, DJ Jackson. He's going to be close to midfield, but still about 4 yards shy of the first down.
That had potential, except the way they blocked it. There were no wide receivers over there, so there wasn't anybody to lead the way. It was all orange, and they just simply made the tackle. Good, tough stick there by Bryce Robinson, but you got to get some blockers out in front if you're going to run that to the short side like that.
Well, I saw the official have it at about the 49, but they marked the ball at the 47, so it'll set up a 3rd down and 5 here for the Hawks.
That's a bad mark.
There's a low snap. The fake handoff. Quarterback's going to throw it out. And the catch is made. That is going to be a 1st down and finally pushed out of bounds by number 23, Isaiah Humphreys.
Interesting play there. Kind of a speed option by the quarterback. Watch him here. Normally he'll just keep it around the end or drop back and throw it. He throws it on the run halfway forward. He was lucky he didn't cross the line of scrimmage, but it was a yard or 2 from that. In other words, I think he knew exactly what the line was for the line of scrimmage to do that play effectively.
So the Hawks in Mustang territory now. There's a snap. They're going to hand it off to number 4. Boy, and the Mustang defense not fooled by that jet sweep as they're going to wrap him up and drop him for a loss.
Yeah, they were outnumbered. Once he got over there to the sideline, there was 3 orange and 1 black, and that is not going to work. And Sachse, of course, very quick defensively. They're really good pursuing down the line. I'd like to see some runs between the tackles. Of course, Hendrickson thinks that they've got to get Jackson out wide. I'd kind of like to see what he's got between the tackles right now, because the wide stuff ain't working.
Number 10, Bryce Robinson, in on that tackle again for the Mustangs. 2nd down and 11 after the loss of 1. You're going to look at the wide receiver screen, boy, and it breaks down in a hurry. The quarterback's in trouble. He's going to slide down, but he's going to lose 2 more yards. And that play went nowhere fast.
Well, I love the play call. He fakes the screen right and then turns and throws it left. At least they're trying to get Sachse off balance, but it simply did not work. He's lucky he even got it off, as you can see, or got away from the rush.
So 3rd down and 14 now for the Hawks as we are inside of 5 minutes in the first quarter. The Mustangs on top 7-0.
3rd and 11 on their first possession. They've got to get more favorable 3rd downs to be successful.
There's a snap, straight drop back, 3-step drop, looking to throw. He's got a man there. The catch is made. He's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down. I believe it's going to be 4th and 1, and I would expect the Hawks go for it here.
2nd time today they've completed a pass 1 yard short of the 1st down. Now, this was a crossing route. This was a tough play to hold him short on, but they tackled him immediately. The earlier one was a comeback route.
There's a snap, and penalty flags on the play. That's going to back them up 5, and now what do you do?
Well, I think they went a little bit too quick for themselves. I love the fact they went on the quick count. Don't let Sachse's defense get set. You're kind of in no man's land. It's too far for a field goal probably. It's almost too close to try for the coffin corner. I'd almost go for this.
Yeah, and I think that's what you'll see the Hawks do.
The punter would have to take a lot off of any kind of kick that he tried to keep it, in a coffin corner situation. And they're going.
So 4th and 1 now becomes 4th and 6. They've got to get to the 30-yard line of the Mustangs to pick up the 1st down. And it does appear they are going for it here. Double wing look. Looking to throw across the middle. He's got a man. That's a catch. And a 1-man to beat. He is drugged down from behind by, I believe that's number 8 of the Mustangs, Jacoby DeLoach. But it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Hawks.
Perfect play call at the perfect time. The blitz came up the middle, so he throws it where the defenders vacated on the blitz. It's like they knew exactly what defense Sachse was going to run. I'd like to give that credit to scouting. They may have known it was coming.
So 1st and 10 now for the Hendrickson Hawks. The ball's at the Mustang 17-yard line.
See, Kilo Starnes is the middle linebacker. He is one of the 2 that rushed, and that left the middle wide open.
Going to hand the ball off to the right side. Gets some blocking out there, trying to make a man miss. Gets inside the 10, all the way to the 9. Is the leading running back, DJ Jackson, for the Hawks.
All of a sudden they've started mixing it up. They've really opened up the playbook, and that's why they're marching it down the field. Sachse has no idea what's coming next.
There's a snap. Quarterback's going to keep it himself to the middle of the field, and he's going to be taken down at about the 6 by number 10 of the Mustangs, Bryce Robinson, against trying to assert himself here in the first quarter.
And to show you how they're keeping him off balance, the left defensive end for Sachse was not even set. He was going down into his stance as they snapped the ball. So they're really, they may be catching Sachse by surprise. Maybe that Hendrickson has never done this quick snap before. I don't know, but Sachse looks like they're not ready for it. Something that a trip to the sideline, a little talk from the coaches will probably clean that up before the next possession.
Enough yardage for the first down. It is 1st and goal here for the Hawks at the 7. Going to send a man in motion. There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff, looking to throw it. He's got a man out here. The catch is made, and that's an easy walk-in touchdown for number 22, DJ Jackson.
Jackson is like the 3rd leading receiver on this team. I love the play call. They just swung him out of the backfield on the wheel route, and nobody from Sachse picked him up. Nearest man about 5 yards away. It doesn't get any easier than that.
So the Hawks an extra point away from tying the game up.
What a drive. I'll recap in a moment.
That is number 52 for the Hawks to attempt the extra point. Michael Skiles.
How about 12 plays, 75 yards?
Extra point is good, and as you mentioned, a 12-play, 75-yard drive. That's awesome for the Hawks.
And add on to that a 5-minute trip down the field. They use 5 minutes off the clock. It does not get any better than that. We got a brand new ball game. Let's start all over at 7, Steve.
Yeah, 7-7 with 2:10 remaining. We'll just keep it here. See the Hawks with
they accumulated 5-6 first downs along the way. They very impressive drive. You know what? The key was they had an early 3rd down that they converted, and then they almost got the first down on 3rd and 14. Remember, they went for it on 4th down at about the 20-yard line and got it. We were trying to decide what should they do here, punt it or go for it. They go for it, get it, and eventually get the touchdown.
So an even ball game, 7-7. There's a look at the Sachse Mustangs sideline. And
so Mr. Jackson, as Red Barons told me on the phone, he is the main danger on this Hendrickson offense. They've got to contain him.
So a good drive there for the Hawks, and again, our score 7-7. Got 2:10 remaining here in the first quarter. And a high end over end kick is going to come down right at the 31, and Dean does not call for the fair catch, and he's going to be dropped immediately. So no return yardage. As a matter of fact, it looks like they're put him down at the 30. There is a flag.
Back where they kicked off, so this has offsides written all over it. If you're Sachse, you might make them re-kick this. The referee today, by the way, Kelly Rutherford, and that's who's got the white hat on down there. They are out of the Tyler chapter. When you get to the playoffs, the two coaches agree on officials, and they can come from anywhere in the state, so they reach out to Tyler for this one. Here's Kelly. Well, we're having trouble picking up Kelly today. But it was offsides like predicted. It can't really be anything else when it's back where you kick the ball.
So the Mustangs elect to just take the 5 yards at the end of the play. So it's going to be 1st and 10, Mustangs at their own 35. There's a snap, the handoff to Christian Cole, trying to get to the right side, and this time the Hawk defense does a pretty good job of holding him to a gain of only 2.
Yeah, Sachse was so good running Cole between the tackles early against Rockwall, and so far today, a lot of the success has come around the ends, especially the right end. They got Cole out there, Trent Dean on the jet sweep, got outside to the right.
Second down, Maiden fakes the throw. The catch is made by number 9, Drew Jackson, and then he gets hit backwards. And, well, I don't agree with this at all, Scott. His forward momentum, he was out around the 40. And
here's what happened. Watch our replay. He gets hit the first time, driven back, and then he got hit a second time. So you got to go with the second hit as far as forward progress. Watch what I'm saying. Except he was out of bounds, so is that what you were trying to say?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a questionable call. They could use the extra 3-4 yards, especially with 3rd down coming.
Yeah, ends up being a 3-yard loss, so now it's 3rd and 11. Maiden under pressure. Here comes the speed of Hendrickson. They throw it downfield, but the pass is incomplete. It's going to be 4th down.
Jackson did a good job of uncovering, and he headed up the sideline with Maiden scrambling for his life. Pass was a little too far, but Jackson was well covered. It's almost a good incompletion because I think anything else might have been an interception as we see the replay. See Maiden there forced out of the pocket by that. Look at these big offensive linemen for Hendrickson. I'm not sure that's not a good incompletion.
So punt formation here for the Mustangs, the 3 and out.
They had a high
bad
snap last week.
And a low punt.
Wow.
Boy, and
it's a thing of beauty in the box score.
Yes, it is. It's going to be down at the 39, but yeah, for the second time in 2 weeks, Scott, as you mentioned, a high snap. Now, there is a penalty flag on the field.
And that rests where? I can't find it. It's procedure anyway against Sachse. Yeah, somebody was in front of it. You would think they'd decline this and take a 27-yard punt, Steve. Start at your own 40. That's like Broadway. And I think they just declined it.
Yep, they did indeed decline it.
He never did that.
So the Hawks, here's a look at it again. Boy, a high snap. A good job by number 34 of the Mustangs to just keep that one in front of him, Madison Perez.
Oh, I forgot. Kind of a new rule, I think, the last few years. You can assess it after the play. So they're going to start at the 45 instead of the 40. I don't really understand that rule change, but they get an extra 5 out of it.
Trips look here to the bottom of your screen. They're going to throw it out quickly to the deep receiver. And number 4 makes a good run after the catch and is going to be knocked out of bounds after a 7-yard gain. That is Jacob Lee.
Just a quick out pass, right on target. Got a clearing block from the receiver. Good job of breaking away from the first man that hit him to get an extra couple up the sideline. That's a great play on 1st and 10. Now this is almost a free play, Steve.
Yeah, let's give him 8 on the reception. So 2nd down and 2, and looking to throw again is the quarterback. He's in some trouble. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw it. He's got a man out here. Catch is made on the sideline, and then he's pulled down from behind. The coaching staff looking for a horse collar, but no flag comes out.
Great job by Jacob Lee to uncover, come back to the quarterback. That's what you tell your receivers to do. When your quarterback starts scrambling and can't find anybody open out and starts scrambling, come back to him. Give him a target that he can hit. In other words, you improvise.
Number 22, the running back, Jackson, trying to get outside, and he breaks the corner and gains about 3 yards inside the 30 down to the 28.
Boy, after a very sluggish start, Hendrickson is a well-oiled machine, you might say. This drive started at the 45. They went 75 yards on their last possession for a touchdown. I love the fact they're mixing it up. You have no idea what's coming next. They've got Sachse on their heels right now.
2nd down, 7. Quick throw out, and the catch is made. Tries to split 2 defenders, but he's going to be taken down at around the 23. So it's going to set up a 3rd down and 2, and probably our final play of the first quarter as well.
Good job by Chris Washington just to hang on from dear life around the ankles, or that might have gone for big yardage. Yep, we're going to go to the other end for the 2nd quarter.
So the replay
that might have gone for 6 if Washington didn't hang on.
So a good tackle there by Washington at the end of the quarter. We have come to the end of one here at Waco ISD Stadium with our score. The Hendrickson Hawks 7, the Sachse Mustangs 7. We'll be back after these messages on GRS TV. Back for the start of the 2nd quarter here as you see the Hawks offense coming onto the field. They are tied currently with the Sachse Mustangs and face a 3rd down and 2 here. Got to get to the Mustang 21 to pick up the 1st down. Quarterback Barker takes handoff. He keeps it himself around the left side. He's going to pick up the first down and more. And he is tripped up by number 10, Bryce Robinson. But once again, a first down run for the quarterback.
Well, the key to the play was he put a move on Micah Buchanan. Buchanan had a shot at him, as you'll see here. Watch the quick juke on Bell. He just left Buchanan in his wake.
Hand off to 22 to the right side. He's going to be inside the 5, down to the 4. Another big run by DJ Jackson, and now it's going to be second down and short.
Yeah, they are getting it in chunks now after that first series where they really struggled. They're working on a 55-yard drive here, and the time of possession very much in Hendrickson's favor. That Sachse defense is going to get tired if this continues much longer.
Yeah, at the end of one quarter, the Hawks with 120 total yards, the Mustangs with 50, and a second down carry up the middle, no gain. It's going to set up 3rd and 1.
Simple fullback dive, nothing there as they try Jackson up the middle. Kilo Starnes, one of the leaders there. Remember, he's the guy who replaced Cedric Johnson, and Starnes with a nice play there. He got some help from his teammates. Kilo Starnes, number 44. Pretty big play right here. 3rd and 1. They can get a first down without a touchdown.
There's a snap. A power look there. Number 39 with the ball. He is going to be close to the goal line. He doesn't get in, but it will set up a 1st and goal at the 1.
Yeah, now it would almost take a turnover. You would figure they're going to get a yard out of a couple of carries coming. Yeah, they put a load in there. That kid looks like a tight end. Obviously a short yardage running back, and he almost got that ball across the goal line as the Hendrickson fans are on their feet expecting them to take the lead. This would be your first lead change of the game if they can do it.
Now it's 1st and goal. We saw the defense come up big for him last week against Rockwall. This time the handoff.
Whoa!
And a touchdown.
Hey, you were fooled and so were the Mustangs. If we see on the replay, he faked the dive to Jackson, and the Mustangs thought Jackson had the ball. Look at him making the tackle there, and then there goes your quarterback with an easy walk the dog, as Brad Sham would say.
Oh, Scott, I know he had it all the time.
Hey, Steve, you're not fooling anybody, and if it'll make you feel any better, I was fooled too.
So quarterback keeper is good for the touchdown. The extra point up and good as well. So just like that, Sachse with the early 7-0 lead, but the Hawks come back with 14 unanswered. Our new score, Hendrickson 14, Sachse 7. We'll be back after these messages. Hawks with a 14-7 lead with 10:20 remaining here in the second quarter.
Another impressive drive, 6 plays, 55 yards, 2:25 off the clock. A little trouble with the kickoff.
Yeah, that is a live ball, and the Mustangs in trouble. They're going to be tackled at around the 6. Boy, you can't let the ball bounce and get behind you like that on a kickoff.
No. Especially on a kickoff. On a punt, you're okay as long as you don't touch it. That's a live ball on a kickoff. So Sachse is really behind the 8 ball right now. I mean, this game, Sachse is in a lot of trouble right now. They need a nice, long, reestablishing drive right here. Remember, they went 66 yards in 8 plays and scored on their first possession and haven't done much since. 1-2-3 punt on their next possession.
So first down Mustangs at the 7. They're going to mark him. And let's see what the Mustang offense can do as the handoff up the middle goes to Cole, and a nice gain on that first down carry of about 6.
That's a really good start, 6 yards. Here comes a very late flag. This is going to be some kind of unsportsmanlike conduct. We got another Mustang without a helmet, by the way. They're having trouble just keeping their helmets on. It's another offensive lineman. Maybe the defender just yanked it off, and that's 15 yards. I'm guessing.
Well, here was the call from the referee.
Miles McAdory had his helmet taken. There you go. I think he just ripped it off his head, Steve. We'll take 15, right?
Well, yes, we will. That's a big play, as it turns out, for the Mustangs, because that gets them out across the 25 now. And we'll see if we can pick it up here. Yeah, there it is, the hands to the face. And like you said, just rips his helmet off.
Now, the lineman should be able to stay in the game. McAdory, they should not force him off because he did not, it wasn't his fault for losing the helmet.
Boy, Cole gets hit, but spins out of a would-be tackle and a gain of about 7 yards on the carry.
I like what I'm seeing. It's almost the Zeke Elliott effect. When Christian Cole's getting 5-6 yards a carry, it has the same effect on this team that Elliott has on the Cowboys. They want to just grind it out, throw it a little bit, and have Cole just carry them down the field. They need it. Keep the defense on the sideline right now.
Quick throw by Maiden is incomplete. He was looking for his slot receiver, Miles Nash, and pass is incomplete. So a 3rd down and 4 coming up here for the Mustangs.
Hendrickson has dominated the time of possession. Your defense needs some rest, and a 7-point possession would also be nice.
Just underway here in the second quarter, 14-7 Hawks. Mustangs with a 3rd and 4.
You look at that defensive line, they've got a couple of huge tackles.
There's a snap, Maiden looking to throw it. He's got time, throws it out, and it bounces to the would-be receiver, number 17, Cameron Cromer, and so it's going to be 4th down for Sachse.
Yeah, you got to punt it away here early in a game in your own territory, and here comes the punt unit. Boy, they bring a lot of changes when they bring that punt unit on. It's pretty obvious what they're going to do by the personnel that take the field. And look how much smaller their punt unit is across the front. You can just tell by looking at them. They all look like receivers and running backs who come out there to block.
Hawks going to send 2 back to return this punt. And a little bit of movement there, and the flag comes out. They may get the defense for this, and if they're going to get a procedure.
Yeah,
it looked like the Hawk defender came across first, and then you see the Mustang lineman move.
Offensive lineman for Sachse saying, hey, they hit us. LaTrey Harris is saying this is on the defense. That's what Red Barons is saying right there to the head linesman, but I don't think the referee, Kelly Rutherford's listening as it goes against Sachse. By the way, remember, he only had a 27-yard punt on his first punt of the night. And I'm trying to get you who this punter is. They've used 3 or 4 punters this year, Steve.
Boy, another high snap. This time he's able to get it cleanly and gets the kick away. It's going to come down to number 3 and trying to make 2 Mustang defenders miss, but they do a great job in coverage and drop him back at the 40.
Talking to Red Barons this week, they've had really tough times with special teams. They've had 3 or 4 holders on point afters and field goals. They've had 3 or 4 punters. They've had 3 or 4 deep snappers. And the deep snaps have been a problem all year. And they've been a problem in this game, obviously.
Yeah, there is a penalty flag sitting at the 39.
Way behind the play, though, where the ball was caught, holding against the return team. So really, Sachse's going to get a good flippage of the field here despite a pretty short punt. The punt only went 30 yards.
Yes, they are indeed, as that 10-yard penalty will force the Hawks back to their own 30.
That's a pretty big penalty. I have a saying, it's not necessarily the penalties, it's where on the field they occur and when they occur.
That's exactly right.
This is a big one considering the situation.
So the Hawk offense back on the field, as we've seen, they had a 3-and-out on their first possession, Scott, but then their last 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. There's a snap,
yeah.
Jet sweep coming to the left side, gets a good block here, and guess what? Off to the races, number 4. Boy, a huge run for Jacob Lee inside Mustang territory down to the 35.
But you mentioned it. Watch the clearing block. Mr. Jackson does it all as he cleans out the sideline over here. You and I could have taken off from there. Jackson is a complete football player, obviously. I have a feeling he's going to play on some other days of the week in the future.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Big gain.
Good job blocking the sweep otherwise, by the way. It wasn't just Jackson's block.
Absolutely. 35 yards on that run. Here comes the quick throw out and looking for Jackson. He's got a lot of room out here to the right, and he's going to have a first down and more down the sideline. They're going to mark him out at the 24, but that's a gain of 12 and another first down.
That should have gone for minus yardage or just a short gain, and An open field attempted tackle. Watch this missed tackle by 23.
It's Isaiah Humphreys.
Yeah, and after that, he got free down the sideline. Thank goodness he stepped out shortly after that. Humphreys beat the defense. They had 3 guys pulling out there to lead the way, but Humphreys beat him to the sideline and should have kept that to a short gain.
1st and 10 for the Hawks. Fakes the handoff. Quarterback's going to keep it. Nice move again. Gets inside. Oh, he loses the ball. The Mustangs recover.
Wow.
Boy, a big turnover here for the Hawks, and the Mustangs are going to take over.
How big of a turnover. It changes everything. This could have shortly been a 21-7 deficit. The momentum would have been huge in Hendrickson's favor. It may still be if Hendrickson can get a defensive stop, by the way. But right now, that keeps Sachse very much in this football game. This is a huge turnover.
Right here's the hit. Number 44 forces it out.
You know, it's kind of a good example. You know, tell your quarterback to get down at some point. Quarterback should not be backing his way, going over a defender. Just get down if you're a quarterback. Don't try and get too much, and he tried for too much.
So the first turnover of the game in favor of the Mustangs. They start 1st and 10 from their own 15. There's the snap. Maiden's going to keep it himself up the middle. He's got some running room, and he's going to have a nice gain of about 10 yards, so that should move the chains there, a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, you mentioned a moment ago, after that opening drive where Sachse went the length of the field, they've had 2 1-2-3 punts since. They need a time-consuming running drive to get their confidence back and just to get even in this football game.
Empty backfield, the quick throw out to number 7. The catch is made, and then he's taken off his feet around the 30, so a gain of 4 that time for number 7, Derek Rose.
You got to get blocks, and they only had 1 blocker out there. Drew Jackson had to handle 2 defenders, and then there were 2 or 3 more coming. That's just bad recognition. I mean, you just didn't have enough blockers to make that play happen.
Approaching 8 minutes remaining here in the half. 2nd down and 6 here for the Mustangs. There's the snap. Maine's going to keep it himself up the middle again. Has another big hole, and he is going to be taken down at around the 47-yard line. So a big run by Maiden, and the Mustangs offense starting to work now.
Yeah, that's the option keeper, the read option. And yeah, they're just trying to find something that works, Steve, and that's worked 2 of the last 3 plays. This is a straight quarterback draw. Good job. But he wanted to go right up over the center, saw nothing there. He immediately went over the guard, the left guard. Recognition from Maiden.
Quick hitter by Christian Cole, going to gain only about 1. And what they've done differently, Scott, on this drive, the adjustment they've made is they're going empty backfield. At least they have so far on this drive, and you'll see empty backfield again.
There you go. Spread the field, spread the defense. Although there's 6 in the box, they can block 4 or 5 of them, definitely.
There's a snap. Bates going to keep it himself, trying to get room. He's got another hole, and he's going to pick up another 1st down inside Hendrickson territory all the way down to the 42.
Same thing, Steve. He wanted to take it up the middle. He quickly shifted to his left and went up over guard. Good vision from Jalen Maiden, but again, the blocking in the interior. You got 5 linemen against 4 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers, and they got most of the 6 blocked, enough to get a good gain out of it. Because you're spreading the field with all the other defenders with the receivers.
1st and 10 Mustangs. There's a snap. Maiden looking to throw. Here comes the pressure, and he's going to go down. And that's going to be a loss of 3. The first real negative play of the Mustangs. He was looking to throw that time, Scott, and everything was covered.
Yeah, that's a defensive end that just went unblocked pretty much. Let's see the replay here. Well, we can't really see how he got free, but yeah, they wanted to run the quick out. When you can't run that quick out pass, you know you don't have time. And it came from Jalen's. He should have seen the guy coming, but that's how quickly he came. He couldn't even get out of it.
So the Mustangs sticking with an empty backfield. 2nd down and 13 here. 3 receivers to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. There's a snap. Maiden looking to throw it. Here comes the quick throw. The catch is made. Boy, nice grab by Trent Dean. He's going to have a 1st down right at the sticks.
Little chain heading from Trent, although the chains are behind him. He cut that. He made that post cut right at the 1st down marker, and he got right to the 1st down line for the 1st down. Love Trent Dean. He's a smart kid with good hands. Your classic possession receiver. I also like the fact going into this game he had 13 catches on the year due to injuries and stuff. 6 of those for touchdowns. And he's got a touchdown run this afternoon.
1st and 10 Mustangs at the Hawk 32. Maiden looking to throw it again. Nothing there. Now he's looking to run it. He escapes, and guess what? A big game for Maiden. And he gets knocked off, and guess what? The Hawks have recovered.
Red is saying he's down. Red Barons is saying he's down. I'd love to see the replay. It won't do us any good, but he may have been down. Red Barons immediately pointing, he's down. But I think our replay may tell us everything, Steve. Go GRS TV.
Well, he gets hit in the back, and while he's in the air, he gets hit from behind. And let's see. There it is. There's the hit.
Good call.
It's a fumble for sure.
Yeah, the coaches are going to beg whatever happens. I don't blame Red. It was over there on his sideline. He's trying to buy a call, but obviously they got it right.
Boy, so Maiden really was orchestrating a nice drive down the field, but then he makes the mistake and fumbles.
What did I say earlier to the Hendrickson quarterback? Quarterback's trying to do too much. Maiden should have just gone down with it, not spin and be in midair, going backward. I mean, just get down with the ball and don't take a lot of risk when you don't have to.
So the Hawks take back over, and the quarterback's going to keep it after the fake handoff. Boy, he has a nice run out across the 30 all the way to the 33, so that's going to be a gain of about 6.
Steve, point being, if he was a yard short of the first down and did that trying to get the first down, no problem. But you're just trying to get an extra yard or two. It's not worth exposing your body in midair as a quarterback like that.
Agreed, and this time the handoff goes to the running back. He's going to have a first down and more, cuts it inside. Boy, another nice run by DJ Jackson, and the Mustangs going to have to adjust to that.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. I would love to sit down for dinner with the offensive coordinator. I think the offensive coordinator of this team is the key so far. He is mixing it up. They're running it. They're throwing it. They're going inside. They're going outside. Sachse, I think, has been on their heels ever since this game started defensively.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
They're not
Scott.
doing anything fancy. They're just doing it well, and you have no idea what's coming next.
Boy, great shot of that last play by our end zone camera, and boy,
go
they're doing a great job as always.
TV. Oh, they do a great job.
There's a snap. The handoff this time coming outside. Number 22 again, and Jackson with another nice run of about 4.
Yeah, that was going to go for short yardage, but he cut on a dime to the outside. There you see the quickness. He's not only, I think there's a difference in quickness and speed, and I think he's got both. Here you see the quickness. Watch the feet. Look like he's going to get down right there. He just cuts it on a dime and gets an extra 3 or 4 out of it.
So a gain of 4, and they're a yard shy of midfield. As we approach 4 minutes remaining here in the half, the Hawks already leading this game 14-7. 1 turnover for each squad.
Have been pretty big, actually.
There's the fake handoff. Quarterback's got a first down up the middle and more. And finally taken down. Actually, they're going to mark him down right at the 45.
They may have blown a whistle. I'm not really sure how you could do that. But if that whistle blows, Steve, you've got to kill the play. Maybe he accidentally blew the whistle.
Yeah, let's see here.
Because he was not down.
Didn't look like it anyway. So they're going to mark him down at the 45. They did say he got enough for the first down. Here it comes. Let's see if he is down on knee. Here we go with our slow motion replay.
I see. There you go. Good call. Good call. Yeah. And good camera work as usual as they slow it down and stop it. I would never dreamed he was down.
Here we go, 1st and 10, and there's a penalty flag, and I know what this is going to be. The receiver made this one's coming back. There's a good catch out there and a first down made, but this one's coming back.
What happened?
The receiver coming to block was moving forward before the play was snapped, so they're going to get him for illegal motion.
Did you notice, I was on radio last week, you were on TV, did you notice on that fake punt that receiver was in illegal motion too, the same situation, and they didn't call it last week?
Yeah, they're going to get him this time, I can guarantee you.
Thank goodness it did not hurt Sachse. It did at the time, but Sachse was able to hold on and beat Rockwall. That was one of the key plays, that fake punt last week.
Yes, it was.
Good eyes, by the way. I have a saying, anybody I work with had better have great vision or we're in a lot of trouble as a broadcast crew.
You're going to see it right here. Well, actually,
even
we're not
I
going to
can
pick
see
it up,
huh?
but it's exactly the young man that was running on your screen right there is the one that was coming forward before the play snap. Now, they had a good play here,
boy,
Scott.
This quarterback escapes really well. He should have been down, and Sachse would have declined the penalty and taken the loss, but he wouldn't go down, and then he got away and avoided a much bigger loss.
This time it is legal as they fake the handoff. Quarterback's getting in a lot of trouble, and he's still moving forward. He may pick up 2 on the carry, but it's going to be 2nd down 13.
You ever watch Canadian football?
Absolutely.
You can go forward, I think, in Canadian football, can't you? That would have been a legal play in Canadian.
That is correct. Look at the quarterback played a good first half for the Hawks.
I didn't think anybody watched Canadian football. I'm shocked. At least here in America, I didn't know. Do you watch Canadian football?
Absolutely.
Good situation for Sachse. They're behind the chains, which has not happened much today. Good chance for a defensive stand here.
Here comes the throw out. Boy, a wide open receiver. He breaks the tackle. That is number 14 of the Hawks, and he's going to be down inside the 20 to the 19. I don't know why the Mustangs had him so wide open, Scott.
Well, it was over the middle. They had a 5-man defensive front, about 7 or 8 in the box. That's part of it. You got, it looked like confusion in the secondary. But anyway, they're having trouble getting a pass rush because Barker gets rid of the ball so quickly. They sent 5 down linemen that time and never got close to him. It's only a 2-step drop, most of them, and he gets rid of it so fast.
So the Hawks in the red zone once again, 1st and 10 at the 19, looking to throw it. He's got time. He throws out to number 18. It's going to be 1st down and goal for the Hawks at the 6. Boy, another big throw and catch that time. And number 18, Thomas Williams, this time with the reception.
Sachse's in trouble. They could go down 21-7 here. Not like the game would be over, but how many times has Sachse been down 2 touchdowns in a football game? This might be the first time today if they go down. Yeah, the only other time they've been down by 2 scores, they were down 35-21 in the 3rd quarter of the game against Rowlett. Good point.
That is it, but we'll take a quick break. A timeout by Hendrickson, our score. The Hawks 14, the Mustangs 7. Back from timeout, 1st and goal at the 6.
Hendrickson with all 3 of their timeouts at 1:41. It's going to be tough to keep them out from scoring points here anyway.
Handoff right up the middle, number 22. He's going to get down to the 2. Jackson with the carry. And yeah, Scott, I said earlier Hendrickson had called the timeout, but it was the Mustangs that had called the timeout. So as you said, Hendrickson with all 3.
So this is like 20 minutes. They've got to get in from the 2-yard line. Sachse needs an offensive penalty like a procedure really badly here.
Yeah, the other thing the Hawks have done really well here, Scott, is they are just obviously letting that clock run. They know how dangerous the Mustang offense, and they want to give them as little time as possible.
Yeah.
If indeed they do put points on the board. There's a snap. The handoff once again to 22. He's going to get down maybe to the 1. Now they're actually going to mark him back at the 2, so no gain on the play to Jackson.
Well, there's a chance now, 3rd and goal. If you're Sachse, this could be a 4-point play. You want to try and hold them to a field goal if they try the field goal. If I'm Hendrickson, I would try the field goal on 4th down and get a 2-possession lead right before the half. You don't want to come up empty here and give Sachse all that momentum.
Big play by the defense quarterback keeper behind his running back. He falls into the end zone, I think. Nope, they haven't signaled it, so they're going to mark him short.
What do you do?
And just like last week, the Mustangs are going to face a 4th and 1, and we'll see if the Hawks decide to go for it.
Sometimes you would go for it because you're going to give it to Sachse at the 1-yard line. Well, Sachse doesn't have any time to do anything with it, so I would strongly consider a field goal because of that.
Well, I think what you're going to see is the Hawks going to let the clock run down to about 3 seconds, call a timeout here.
You see my point? If there was a lot of time left in the 3rd quarter, you would go for it, take the chance, because then Sachse would have to start at their own 1-yard line. We've only got 1 second left in the half, so that's not a factor. So based on that, I would probably kick the field goal here. A 2-possession lead in a game like this could be huge going to the locker room.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not just saying that because I'd rather have Sachse trail by 10 than 14. I'm saying that because I think it makes a lot of sense right now.
They do indeed call the timeout with 2 seconds remaining. We'll keep it here, and boy, this is going to be a big call, Scott. And it is one of those things. You know, a lot of people around the state, Sachse's a state-ranked team. You're thinking they're, you know, the favorites in this game, and part of you says, well, do you go ahead and you know, try to dig it in here because a 14-point lead is a lot better than a 10. But I'm with you.
Sachse's got so much offense. I don't think 14 points is a huge deal to Sachse.
Yeah.
I'm thinking momentum. I'm thinking all that. Sachse's going to be doubting themselves in that locker room down 21-7, I would think.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Anyway, I go field goal. What's your vote? You got to vote right now.
I would too. But I'm traditional, old school, and I'd kick it here as well. Take a 10-point lead. But
they're going, baby.
Yeah,
Think of the momentum for Sachse if they hold them on 4 straight plays inside the 5.
Yeah, just like last week, they had a 4th and goal against the Yellow Jackets. There's a snap, the handoff to the big number 39.
We forgot about him, Steve.
He is in for the touchdown.
He just barely got enough lean with the football, as we could see live, to get that ball across. It appeared, looked like a good call. We forgot about number 39. He's hard to stop, isn't he? Look here, he barely got it.
Yeah, he did barely get it. Boy, another nice stand there by the Mustang defense, but they are not able to hold the Hawks out of the end zone.
Told you they should have gone for the touchdown. You wouldn't listen to him.
So Conley with the big touchdown and the extra point attempt coming up here. Number 52, Skiles. This, of course, is the final play of the half.
I saw an even better replay. He definitely got his upper body with the ball across.
So the extra point is good, and we are going to go to halftime with kind of a shock on our face. Our score, the Hendrickson Hawks 21, the Sachse Mustangs 7. We'll be back for the start of the third quarter. The start of the third quarter at Waco ISD Stadium. Our halftime score, Hendrickson 21, Sachse 7. And before we get started, let's take a look at some of our first half highlights. Sachse definitely fired up coming into this game, and they strike first. You see the big long run by number 5, Christian Cole, and here comes the actual touchdown. Trent Dean, they had ruled Cole out at the 2, and then the handoff to Trent Dean coming around on the jet sweep, and Sachse takes the early 7-0 lead, but boy, then Hendrickson's offense got fired up, and quick touchdown pass there to DJ Jackson to tie it at 7. And the quarterback keeper that fooled everyone except for our camera crew. That was Blaine Barker with the quarterback keeper, and that gave Hendrickson their first lead of the game, 14-7. Boy, nice play here, but the turnover, the first of the game, and it went in the way of the Mustangs. Saw the big hit there on the quarterback, and Mustangs were fired up after that turnover. And I'll tell you, they had a good drive going, and Maiden coughed it back up, and then there's the final touchdown as time expired to number 39. That was Dre Conley. So a 21-7 lead is where we are as we come back here for the second half.
I think the Sachse turnover was much more critical than the Hendrickson turnover. I'm real happy Sachse gets the first possession of the second half. They like to say the first possession of each half can be a telling possession. I think this one's huge.
So the high kick is going to come down to Dean at the 25. No fair catch call again. He's going to return it, and he's going to be upended at around the 37. So pretty good field position here for the Mustangs to start.
In other words, if Sachse can stick this down the field, stick it in the end zone, all of a sudden we start all over, even though it's 21-14. Sachse has to feel like they're as good or better than Hendrickson if they can take this down the field. First half stats, first downs 13-8 in favor of the opponents. Total yardage 277 to 122 in favor of Hendrickson. 129 on the ground out of their 277, 89 rushing, 122 total for Sachse. Only 8 penalties, 6 of them against Hendrickson, which is interesting. 1 turnover for each team. since Sachse's on offense, let's give you their individuals. Maiden 6 out of 9 for 33, not much. Maiden, the leading rusher, 7 for 45. Christian Cole just 6 for 42. First play.
Maiden looking to throw it. He goes down. Oh, they actually say he didn't go down. Now he escapes it, and I'm not sure how he stayed up. A great job by him, and he's going to end up getting positive yards out of this.
Leading receivers, Saxon. Derek Rose just 3 for 13, although he has 3 catches, 1 for 13 for Trent Dean. Individually for Hendrickson, the quarterback Barker, 12 out of 12, Steve. 12 out of 12 for 148 yards and a touchdown. How about them apples? Jackson, 10 for 58, not bad from the Sachse defense there. Barker, 10 for 32, has a big touchdown run. D.J. Jackson also with 4 receptions for 41 yards to lead the receivers.
Cole's going to come into the backfield to join Maiden, gets the handoff, and a nice run close to the first down, but about a yard short, it looks like. Sets up a 3rd down and 1. Yeah, I think the 2 big stats there, Scott, that you just read, at least for my mind, is Sachse, number 1, with only 122 total yards at half. And the second stat that kind of shocks me is, as you mentioned, the quarterback for Hendrickson, 12 of 12.
That's good. I don't care who you are and who you're playing. It's hard to not miss a pass.
3rd and 1, and Cole is hit, but I think he's going to fall forward for the first down. Nice second effort by him to pick up the first.
It wasn't easy. A little second effort, as you said. Also got a pretty good mark. That mark is getting better by the moment. I think he got a little bit more than he really earned, but either way, I think he had the first down. That's a big first down. Again, Sachse needs a time-consuming, running-dominated drive to reestablish the fact, hey, we got as good of a chance as you have in this football game.
1st and 10, there's a snap. Maiden looking to throw. He's going to throw it deep, and boy, good coverage and almost picked off. Whoa! The coverage is right there, number 28, Andrew Trevelyan. If he gets his head around faster, Scott, that's a pick.
Yeah, an ill-advised pass. I mean, the coverage was not only there, he also had inside position on the receiver. Actually, Hendrickson DB looked like the intended receiver who just dropped the football.
2nd down and 10. Again, empty backfield look by the Mustangs here. See if they're going to bring a safety in. No, they're going to play it straight. Maiden trying to get outside. Can he break the tackle? Boy, good open field tackle by number 3, Tobias Harris.
Yeah, nothing else I can say and add to that. Is just a great open field tackle. Short side of the field, which is interesting. He didn't have a lot of room to roam, even if he turned the corner because of that sideline.
So a big 3rd down and 9 right here, Scott, for the Mustangs, right at midfield. Maiden looking to throw. Here comes pressure. He's going to throw it deep. He's got Dean out there, but he overthrows him. Once again, pretty good coverage.
Actually, Dean had kind of turned it up in between the numbers and the hash. Dean, in other words, he threw it behind him more than overthrowing him. The pass actually had pretty good distance on it. Dean is waiting for it to come down, and then at the last minute he sees it's behind him and he had no chance. Let's also give Hendrickson credit. Hendrickson's secondary is doing a pretty good job of coverage today.
Yes,
Only a couple of times has Sachse been open, on those dinks early in the game, but since then they've done a really good job.
And now a punt situation coming up here by the Mustangs. They've had kind of some crazy things go on here, but this time it gets blocked. Hendrickson with the block, and they're going to pick it up at around the 45. Boy, the momentum is clearly on the side of Hendrickson, Scott.
This is close to being a blowout, to be quite honest with you. Sachse needs a stop badly. Boy, they've had special team problems all year. I've heard so many different people bring that up during the year that at some point it's going to cost them, and it's costing them at times today. And oh boy, Sachse needs to no worse than a field goal. And really, they're starting at the 45. Sachse has a chance to keep them from scoring points here with a quick 1-2-3 stop. But let's see if the Mustangs made any adjustments defensively at the half, because this offense just marched it up and down the field, mostly on the ground, a few short passes.
Yeah, after that first possession, they went 3 and out, and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to have a tough time on the afternoon. And after that, their offense has done pretty much what they've wanted. There's a sweep around the left end there by number 22, DJ Jackson. A nice gain of about 6 on that first down run.
Just a simple toss sweep, and when you run that play, the quarterback usually leads the way, and Barker was around that corner leading the way up the sideline. And a quick 6 on first down.
Got to echo exactly what you said. This, you know, I know it's the first drive for Hendrickson here in the second half, but Sachse's defense, they've got to come up big here, you would think.
Because if they don't, you're just going to say same old, and it's going to be 28-7, and you can almost say this game's over.
There's a snap on second down. The handoff to Jackson. Busts through the middle of the field. He's going to pick up the first down, and another Mustang loses a helmet. He'll have to come off the field for one play.
Now, the most interesting thing you have said right before halftime that I will never forget is Rowlett led Sachse 35-21. Really the only game they've had trouble with all year. I have a feeling that may have come up in conversation in the locker room at halftime.
Yeah, I would imagine you're probably correct. 1st and 10 now for the Hawks. And again, nothing fancy on that last play that you saw on the replay there. Is just right up the middle, and Jackson picked up about 6. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to him again to the right side. He's got some room, and then it closes in a hurry. 3 Mustangs that are tackling him at a gain of only about 3.
Well, great play there by Jacoby Deloach as he played off a block down low, just threw it aside and then joined Robinson on the tackle. Maybe we'll see it right here. Deloach is number 8. You see him play off the block from 26 and got involved in the tackle. That's how you play an end position like that. Also forced the back to go inside.
Second down, a long 7. Quarterback's going to roll out to his left. He's got a lot of trouble here, and he's not going to pick up much. So you're going to give him momentum to about the 30, Scott, but it's going to set up 3rd down and 6.
Pretty big play coming because they're almost in that nowhere land. Probably too far for a field goal, probably too close for a coffin corner. Yeah, you figure they would go for it on 4th down from here, which they did earlier in the game. Boy, they've been tackling the guy without the ball, Sachse defense, all day long. That shows you how well Barker fakes that handoff into the line. We've had a lot of tackles on non-football carrying players today.
Big play in this game in the 3rd quarter as we're inside of 8 minutes in the 3rd. There's a snap. The handoff up the middle to Jackson. He's going to be well shy of the 1st down. A gain of only about 2 to the 28.
Let's give the defensive coaches from Sachse credit there. They had the right call at the right time. They loaded the defensive line looking for the run, and what they do, they ran it over left guard, and after a little bit of a surge, they stopped him well short of the 1st down. What do you do here? It would be a 45-yard field goal inside the left hash if you tried it.
Well, here's a look at the replay, and I can tell you right now, not one person has come off the field for the Hawks, so it looks like they intend to go for it here.
I agree with it. You're in that nowhere zone where you've got to go for it. I'd be tempted to coffin corner it with a 2-touchdown lead. I'm glad they're going for it. Sachse has a chance to make a stand here. You need a stop. You don't want to, for momentum, Steve, you want to stop. A punt is not as much of a good stop as a 4th down run that comes up short. They need some kind of momentum to carry over to the offense. So do we need a break?
No, we'll keep it here. The Hawks call a quick timeout here as they do want to talk about things. They may be rethinking their strategy here. Yeah. Again, it's 4th and 4.
And having said what I just said, that's wishful thinking. If they don't get a stop, they're in a lot of trouble because that's a fresh set of downs inside the 25-yard line. So you better hope they get a stop if they go for it. Very little wind, just light. It's almost reverse direction, but it's so light it shouldn't have any effect. It is at the back of the Hawks here. If they were to go for a field goal, we did not get any special teams numbers from the Hawks this week. So we have no idea how good their field goal kicker is.
Yeah, I don't think they're discussing a kick at all. I think they're either going to go for it here or you're going to see them punt it, but the quarterback is on the field. So
you can drop Barker at the last second and go for that coffin corner. That's what I would do. Maybe try and draw them off sides because they only need 4 for the 1st down.
Yeah, I think that's what you'll see first for sure. But they've got an unbalanced look. They're going to run to the right, and they're going to just let DJ Jackson try to get there. And guess what? He is all the way inside the 10. That may be a touchdown. They're going to mark him out, and it looks like at this. Well, nope, they're going to call a touchdown.
Yeah, one official looked like he might mark him out, but the field judge right at the goal line signaled touchdown. And that's what they're going to go with. Let's see what we have to say on this.
Boy,
good shot block outside. Looks like a score to me, Steve. Well, the goalpost was in the way of that right foot, so we really don't know if he stepped out or not according to that angle. It doesn't really matter, though, because it's going to count.
Yeah, it's going to count. Here comes the extra point attempt by number 52, Michael Skiles, and it is good.
You mentioned the unbalanced line. I mean, there was nobody home over here defensively for Sachse until he got to the sideline and turned it up. And we got a penalty on the kick, and it's going to be declined. Extra point's good.
Well, great work, as always, by our camera crew. You saw he never did step out of bounds, so that touchdown call is good. We'll take a quick break. Our score, 6:41 remaining in the third. Hendrickson 28, Sachse 7 on GRS TV. For those of you just joining us, that is not a typo on the screen. The Hendrickson Hawks have a 28-7 lead over the Mustangs of Sachse with 6:41 remaining in the third. And I know there are many of you viewers across the area looking at that and really shocked right now at the Mustangs, and only 7 points on the board. But Hendrickson's played a good game thus far. The kick to Trent Dean. Boy, he's got some blockers out there trying to set up the wall to the right side, still on his feet, and the Mustangs are going to have great field position to start this drive.
Well, there's a good start right there. Going to start at the 46-yard line. Steve, as I like to say, Sachse's not only 21 points down, they are 21 consecutive points down. While they're scoring those 21, they got to hold Hendrickson to 0. The same team they've already given up 28 consecutive points to. So it's not just points, it's consecutive points that they are down.
Boy, and that is just what they needed. A shot in the arm from Trent Dean. A great return. They're going to start at the 46, 1st and 10.
A prick of the skin, a blood test, a prick of the anything in that game. Hopefully that's a jump start, because this team is really ailing right now.
Now they're back in their regular formation as well, with Christian Cole in the backfield along with Maiden. They're going to snap the ball, fake the handoff. Maiden is outside and down the sideline, and he's going to pick up nice yardage. They're going to mark him out across midfield at the Hendrickson 47, but that's a gain of about 7 yards.
Okay, I'm going to go on a little homework mission. It'll be a quick homework mission. I'm going to give you the lowest points scored in a game by Sachse this season. I have a feeling we're a long way from it.
Well, I believe it was last week against Rockwall with 24.
I hate it when you're right.
There's the throw, and guess what? Just like that, the Mustangs back in it.
I think they got him by surprise. Rose was well behind the defender, solo coverage. Let's see if we can see how he got so open here. Go GRS TV.
Yeah, it was a stop.
I think he just ran right by.
Yeah, it was a stop and go.
Okay.
And
that would be it then.
The corner right there, number 10, was fooled, of course, on the stop. And number 7 for the Mustangs, Derek Rose, with the long touchdown catch, and that'll get the Mustangs right back in it.
Got to get a defensive stop. That's only as good as the next defensive stop. In other words, if they let Hendrickson go right back down the field, that touchdown did no good at all, but it can be a start to a comeback. Remember, the consecutive points that you're down, you've still got to stop Hendrickson.
So an offside call against the Hawks.
Now, do you go for 2 here? Yeah, you got to get it to 14, I would think. Maybe some other time this would be important. Red Barons is out there talking to the official. That went against Hendrickson. I'm not sure what Red has to say.
Well, I think what Red was saying was because I saw the.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you decline it. Yeah.
Exactly, because the extra point was good.
There you go.
And so
he wants to go ahead and take the point, don't risk a bad snap, which
exactly
they've had some problems with this year. Let's take any points you can get when you're coming from behind, right?
That's exactly
right. And there is Derek Rose. Maybe a little life on that Sachse sideline, Steve.
Yeah, the junior wide receiver with the touchdown throw, and they needed that because, of course, they were down 28-7 just moments ago. And
we may look back on that as a huge play if they can continue this comeback.
Of course, that touchdown drive took right around 1 minute. Scott, and that's just what you see out of the Sachse Mustangs.
Remember, Holland Hall used just 3 minutes off the clock on their drive here. They come back out. I guess they are going to. Why would you go for 2 here? If they do, I don't get this.
Yeah, and I don't think they are. I think what.
You think it was a dead ball on the encroachment?
Yes, I do.
So they've got to now kick it again. They blew a whistle probably on the encroachment, so they've got to do it again live. You think that's what happened?
I think that's exactly what happened. So here we go, extra point attempt.
Reyes, this is a big kick, folks.
Oh, a low snap, and the kick is up. I think he got it. Boy, a nice hold after the low snap, and it is 28-14.
That thump you felt on your arm was my heart jumping from my chest to your arm there.
We'll take a quick break. 6:13 remaining in the third. Our score, Hawks 28, Mustangs 14. So a little life in the Sachse sideline and crowd right there as they have just scored to cut it to a 14-point game. It's 28-14 now. But again, the big catalyst for that last one was the nice kickoff return by Trent Dean.
Oh, yeah, good momentum jump start. Again, I think that pass might have taken them by surprise. Sachse really hadn't gotten long all day. Well, at least successfully, they haven't. They got that wide got that wide open on the play.
High end over and kick, and the return out by number 3 of the Hawks. That is Tobias Harris, and a nice return for him. And the Hawks are going to start around the 34. So once again, the Mustang defense is going to be called upon to make a stop here.
So you're saying the least number of points scored by Sachse was 24?
I believe
that's
that is
pretty
correct.
Significant because that's not a bad total. Steve, I got that close by here. I was just taking your word for it.
Yeah, I believe 24 against Rockwall was the least amount of points.
Which is pretty amazing. 24 is your low.
Yeah, and remember,
sometimes that'd be right in the middle of some schedules.
Exactly. Remember, that was an overtime game. They only had 17 at the end of regulation. So
there you go.
So here we go, the Hawks, 1st and 10 at the 24 with a 14-point advantage. There's a snap. Handed off to Jackson, coming to the left side. Boy, he skips and hops around, but only gets about 2 yards out of the carry. You see him right here take a couple of jump moves there.
The only thing close to 24 was 27 against Naaman Forest, and Naaman does a really good job of keeping scores down. The rest of them were astronomical amounts. It's a team that's averaged close to 50 points a game.
2nd down and 8, and Hawks roll out here, a roll out pass. The catch is made once again, and the quarterback stays perfect on the afternoon, and the catch for the first down made by number 11, Jalen Taylor.
I wonder what the state record is for the most passes that have gone completed in a game. He's got to be getting close. You know, that was not an easy catch. Good reach and good hands there by Jalen Taylor. It did not hit him right in the stomach.
Fresh set of downs here for the Hawks. 1st and 10 at the 36. There's a snap. They're going to throw it out. He's got a wide open receiver out here. It's the running back out of the backfield, and he's going to gain about 6. And a penalty flag. That's going to be a face mask, I would assume.
Either that or a horse collar, and it did not look like that, so it has to be a face mask. That's what happens when you go in high. You risk grabbing that face mask, even though it was probably unintentional. That's why you don't go in so high, and that was Alex Smith. That'll be a big 15, even though it was very accidental.
So a 5-yard carry, reception by Jackson here. You're seeing it on the replay. We'll see if we can pick up the face mask. And yeah, way up high around the helmet.
Boy, it was barely a face mask. You know, they used to have a grasping penalty where it was 5 or 10 yards, and then the major one was 15. That might have gone for the lesser if they didn't change the rule.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, Scott. I didn't see a face mask on that.
I really didn't either. I was being kind.
Yeah, I had both hands on the helmet, but I didn't see a grab of the face mask. Quarterback keeper, he's got big yardage. Cuts it inside. Finally knocked off his feet inside the 30 at about the 27.
Well, he is so good on that option keep. The initial fake, not as good this time, but yeah, got a great clearing block. You got to give this offensive line credit. They're not doing anything fancy.
Yeah, that time they did pull the left tackle and left guard around to kind of lead block for the quarterback.
Good point.
But once again, the Hawks driving. They are inside the Sachse 30, 1st and 10 at the 27. There's the snap, straight drawback. He's got a man towards the end zone, and there's going to be your penalty. They're going to say he pushed him out of bounds.
Well, it's at least holding probably, if not interference. You know, he had good enough coverage to where he didn't even need to do it, it appeared.
Agreed.
And doing it was Alex Smith again. That will not be a spot penalty like the NFL, but this is going to get him a lot closer to the end zone. And it is interference.
That's a 15-yard penalty, and that's going to put the Hawks back in the red zone here. Let's take a look at it again, see if we can pick it up from the end zone.
Yeah, he kind of pushed him a little bit out of bounds. You know, if he didn't go out of bounds, there might not have been a call. It was not a big deal, but yeah, pushing him out, because then the receiver becomes ineligible. He can't be the next Hawk to touch the ball since he went out of bounds. I think that's why they called it.
1st and 10 at the 12 as they are once again in the red zone. They can pick up one more first down. The handoff on the draw. And look here, getting outside is Jackson. One man to beat. Boy, great tackle out there. Probably a touchdown-saving tackle by number 28 of the Mustangs. That, of course, is Braylon Brooks.
The initial block was there, and it looked like touchdown written all over it. And then Brooks, as you'll see, just comes flying out of nowhere. See, the initial block held up number 23, Humphreys, and then Brooks saves the day. Again, it's kind of like that drive in the first half. You've got to hold them to a field goal here, get some kind of momentum out of this. But the time of possession, I mean, you just can't get Hendrickson's offense off the field.
Fake handoff, quarterback keeper, guess what? Touchdown Hawks! Not good that time for the Mustang defense. They needed to try to hold the Hawks out of the end zone.
You had a defender with a shot at him, and Brooks saw it coming and spun away just enough where it was a glancing blow. Watch this. There's your shot, spins to make it a glancing blow at the worst. Good recognition. He saw it coming and got 6 out of it.
Boy, we got an injured Mustang out there, and that I believe that's number 23, Isaiah Humphreys.
Yeah, on his stomach. Yeah, he's not moving much at this point. First of all, they're trying to figure out, ask him what's wrong here.
He is on his stomach, as you see.
Well, I think he's getting that. Here we go. All of a sudden, things are looking a lot better.
But they're getting Humphreys up, and let's see if he can get off to the sideline. Oh, he is not putting a lot of weight on that right leg.
I like the fact that there's a lot of applause here from the home side, the Hawk fans. Yeah, he's getting as much applause over here as he is from his home folks. That's good sportsmanship. Here comes your PAT.
Okay, here's the extra point to give the Hawks that 21-point lead again.
I'll tell you, Steve, no doubt in my mind who has the better football team. Hendrickson has taken it to Sachse so far.
Yeah, through almost 3 quarters, you are definitely right.
This is not like an accident today. We know who has the better team so far.
Extra point attempt coming up. There's a snap and hold. The kick is up. It looks good, and it is good. So our new score with 3:19 remaining in the third, time beginning to be a factor. The Hendrickson Hawks 35, the Sachse Mustangs 14. We'll be back in just a moment on GRS TV. 3:19 remaining in the third quarter. The Hawks on top 35-14. And the Mustangs have their work cut out for them.
If you don't get a defensive stop, it doesn't matter how many touchdowns you score. They've got to score, get a stop, and get another score to have a chance in this football game. That's consecutive touchdowns.
No, and he's going to bring this one out. Well, what do I know? He's going to get a good return out of it. They're going to upend him at the 24, so.
I'll tell you what, it's almost a situation where he may still get chewed out for running it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the ball got behind him, Scott, and it went 1 yard into the end zone. Yeah. You take a knee there and don't take your chances.
They're probably saying, hey, great job. You got lucky. Don't let it happen again, is almost what I would say if I was a coach in that situation. But then again, there's another way to look at it. You're down by 21. You start taking chances like that sometimes, trying to make a big play. And, boy, when he turned that corner, I thought they had a chance for a pretty big play.
Yeah, I did too. I'm right there with you. So here we go. The Mustang offense got to get in gear once again. They scored on their last possession, and they've got to put 7 more on the board this time as well. Across the middle. Oh, in and out of the hands, and a big shot that time. Oh, number 7, Derrick Rose, and he's hurt.
Yeah, he's been a key today, and he is squirming and squirming. That could have been a shot to his clavicle or something like that, Steve. I'm guessing, but that was up around the shoulders. And as much squirming as he's doing, this does not look good.
Yeah, number 2, Clayton Perrin comes across and hits him.
Watch where he gets popped. This is not wind knocked out of you, in other words. Watch where the pop happens. The right shoulder area, stinger area, that's not good.
Boy, and that is a 100% legal hit. Nowadays, you see all these leading with the helmets and so forth. That was a good, clean hit. It was a hard hit, and, boy, you just hope that number 7, Derrick Rose, is okay. But you're right, Scott. I mean, he took the brunt of it right there on the shoulder. And
it's like you got one of the Hendrickson trainers out there, maybe. I don't know. These teams have kind of similar colors. It's at times, Sachse's been known to wear some navy blue through the years.
Boy, he is up on his feet, or at least on his backside. Now he's up on his feet, and that's a good sign because I tell you what, the junior receiver for the Mustangs, Derrick Rose, has had a good game here today.
Yep. In fact, he's one of the few receivers who has had a good game today.
Absolutely.
He has to go out for at least a play. I'm seeing some act. The key is, Steve, is he going to just go over there and stand? If he does, that means he's probably okay. I don't want him to put ice on it or something like that. That would be the worst news possible. So I'm going to keep an eye on what they do with him on the sideline.
Yeah, big
hit.
Well,
they're walking him to the back, unfortunately.
Incomplete pass. It is 2nd down and 10. There's a snap. Maiden looking to throw. Here comes the pressure. They got the screen set up, and the Hawks read it well and hold Cole to only about 4, maybe 5.
One of the trainers is moving his right arm just to make sure he's got good range of motion. Hopefully this is just a bruise that's going to get better and better, but they're making sure so he will not come back. He's eligible to come back now, but he isn't coming back yet.
So a big 3rd down and 5 coming up here. Maiden looking to throw. He's got all day to throw it. Now he's going to tuck it, try to run, and he is caught from behind. It's going to be 4th down and about 3. Boy, and the Mustangs, as much as I hate to say it, we're still in the 3rd quarter, but they're getting close to that time, Scott. They almost got to think about going for it.
Not quite yet, but it is 4th and 3. I mean, you're going to think about it here. Jalen just waited too long, really. If he was going to take off, he should have done a little bit earlier, which is one of his strengths, going straight ahead in those situations.
Boy, it does look like they're going to go for it here.
Well, I think they're going to just, I don't know, right now, I'd hate to burn a timeout also, but I can't believe they're going for it, to be honest with you.
I can't either. They're going to send a man in motion. Maiden's going to keep it himself to the middle. He's got to get nowhere near the 1st down. They're going to drop it for a 2-yard loss, and that's a turnover on downs.
I know it's easy to say, what are they doing based on the result, but the play they called just flat didn't work, and it looked terrible, but it's a play that's worked a lot of the year for Sachse. That's why it's hard to say it was a bad play call. Let's give some credit to the defense, in other words.
Boy, Coach Barron's is just, they're looking for answers right now as nothing has gone right for them.
They got a lot more questions than answers.
Absolutely. After the 7-0 lead, it's been really all Hendrickson since then. And guess what? They're going to start 1st and 10 at the Sachse 29.
Remember, it's easy to say now they should have punted. We said they should not do this before they ran the play. It's a little early to be going at your own 29.
Yeah, I agree. There's a snap, the handoff to the right side, big hole. Jackson cuts it outside, breaks the tackle, still on his feet. Finally taken down at around the 14, and tell you what, Sachse's going to have to give better effort than that, Scott.
Yeah, that's a good point. Effort. Not a lot of quickness defensively there. They might be getting a little bit tired, by the way, which we've warned the whole day. Again, the blocking, the pinning the defenders inside, keeping them inside so he can get outside. Another good job of blocking that. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of aggressiveness by the defense. Almost like the Cowboys secondary on that play.
This is a big drive for the Mustang defense. I've got to hold the Hawks without points, you would think, on this series.
Yeah,
First and 10.
A chance here.
Quarterback fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. Look, he's got room to the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown.
There's your MVP of the game,
yeah,
without
absolutely.
a doubt. Even when he hands the ball, he's an MVP. He's limping coming off the field a little bit.
Well, I thought I saw a face mask at the end of the play, too, but it goes uncalled. Let's see right here. Nope, it was just the shoulder pad, but at any rate, number 12, Blaine Barker into the end zone, and the Mustangs in a lot of trouble now.
As if they weren't in trouble a minute ago, by the way.
Extra point attempt is up.
I think your first
is good.
Sorry, I think your first nail is in the coffin right now. Maybe a nail and a half.
Let's take a quick break. We've got 107 remaining in the third as Sachse tries to regroup. They are trailing in this game 42-14. 107 remaining in the third. Hendrickson on top 42-14 as we are back after the extra point attempt. And boy, it's just been all Hendrickson here, and I don't think anybody thought this was going to happen. High end over end kick comes to Trent Dean, and I'm going to tackle him. But boy, you give the Mustangs good field position to start here at
just
their
hand
own
it
42.
to him. I mean, I would have kicked it deep probably, but then again, Sachse's had some success on the kick returns. That might have forced that short one. Last thing Hendrickson wants is a big play from Sachse. They want him to have to drive the field, and if they return it on a kickoff, that's not helping Hendrickson much. Make them earn it and use a lot of clock when they score.
So here they come, the offense on the field, 1st and 10, and yeah, it's got to be a quick strike at this point as they trail by 4 touchdowns. Again, this is the number 4 ranked team in the state in the Mustangs.
Sachse's last loss, the last game of last year to the Woodlands.
Throw outside to the wide receiver. That's number 11 with the catch. That, of course, is Trent Dean. Or is that, no, pardon me, that's 17. That's Cameron Cromer with the catch.
By the way, if the Hawks hold on here, they'll advance to the 4th round, and that's the furthest they've ever gone before. Be their 2nd trip to the 4th round in school history.
There's a snap. Maiden looking to throw it. He's got plenty of time. Rolls out to his left. Here comes pressure. He throws it out there, and it's short hops his intended receiver, Trent Dean. So pretty good coverage downfield, Scott, because he had all day to throw.
Yeah, they flooded this left side with 4 receivers, 2 short, 2 long. The last when he threw it, that receiver got a little bit open, but Jalen rolling out just couldn't get enough strength behind this pass. Yeah, Trent Dean was open, but he's having to throw it back, kind of back to the middle of the field, even though he was rolling to the left.
2nd down and 10. There's a snap. Maiden again all time. Now he gets some pressure, throws it out of the backfield to Cole down the sideline. Cole may have a 1st down.
Here's a question that we have not addressed yet. Where the heck has Christian Cole been today?
Yeah, they just
How many times has he touched the ball today, Steve? I bet he hadn't touched the ball more than, what, 7 times, maybe 5 times, receiving or rushing. Makes me wonder if he's hurt. This is very unusual. Of course, the game, they are coming from behind, but still, Get the ball in Christian Cole's hands.
There's a snap, the quick throw out, and boy, a hit right there on the sideline, and the pass is incomplete.
Another way of looking at it, Hendrickson's been so good, they took the game out of Christian Cole's hands and put it into Jalen Mayden's hands, and so far it's paying off.
Watch the hit here.
Yeah, it's a pretty good shot up high. It looked legal, even on the replay. Look, it was close. But when you get up on Sachse, you kind of take Christian Cole out of the game, and this is a good example. They can't run it. They got to throw it every down now.
Second down and 10. Maiden in some pressure. Here comes the flag. That's going to be a holding call. He's looking towards the end zone, but that one's going to be a 10-yard holding against the Mustangs.
Should be. It is. Quick call from Kelly Rutherford, and they're going to decline this. At least the referee is suggesting they decline it. He's saying, you want to decline this, don't you, Coach?
Yeah.
They are going to take it. Kelly was telling him, hey, Coach, I suggest you don't take this penalty. You know what? Field position is very important right now.
Absolutely. To answer your question, you were talking earlier, Scott, Christian Cole's carried the ball only 8 times in this game.
They kind of took him out of the game.
And he's got 1 catch, so he's actually touched the ball 9 times here in this game.
He's not known very much as a receiver, so it's really not their fault. It's the defense just can't stop Hendrickson.
Maiden looking to throw. He's in front of his intended receiver. I believe that's number 9 out there, was Drew Jackson, and they just can't connect.
You know, kind of like Zeke Elliott and the Cowboys. Sachse's best when they're ahead and can just feed the monster, Christian Cole. And today they hadn't had much chance to feed him. And Jalen's been off quite a bit today. That one was high, although he was trying to fit it into a thimble there.
So now you got a 3rd down and 20 needed for the first down. Plenty of time. Maiden's going to scramble out. He's going to just tuck it and run here. And, of course, the Hawks converge on him, and they're going to hold him short of the first down. But, of course, you went for it on 4th and 10 in your own territory. You're definitely going to go for it on 4th and 6 here.
And that'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
And you are correct.
Well, can you outscore them 28-0 in the 4th? We'll see.
You absolutely can try, and that's what the Mustangs are going to do when we come back from break. Our score at the end of 3 here at Waco ISD Stadium. The Hendrickson Hawks 42, the Sachse Mustangs 14. We'll be back in just a moment on GRS TV. We are back for the start of the 4th quarter. Hendrickson on top 42-14. And again, just in shock here as we really expected the Mustangs to come out on top on this one, and there's still time.
You know, part of it, Steve, is we didn't know anything about this team. Not a lot of information. It's a fairly new program, and the unknown can jump up and bite you.
So here we go, 4th down and 6. The Mustangs have to go for it here. There's the snap. Maiden looking to throw. Here comes pressure. He's going to scramble out of it. No, he's not. He's going to go down. And another turnover on downs for the Mustangs.
Well, when you're forced into having to throw on every down, these are the things that will happen to you. That 32 coming right up the middle again. Boy, he's had an active day in the backfield.
Yes, he has. 32 is Curly Young, a junior defensive end for the Hawks, and they're going to take over 1st and 10 at their own 38. God, now it's just run clock here if you're Hendrickson.
Look at the body language from Sachse right now, the ones on the field. You know, you can just kind of tell. If you just walked in here, you can kind of tell that they're probably trailing.
So 1st and 10 Hawks here. Just underway in the fourth. There's the handoff to number 5. Breaks a couple tackles, still on his feet. Boy, a nice, tough run by that young man. He gains 5 yards. And that was Timion Jackson with the carry.
Right now, I think we're going to see whether there's any quit in the Mustangs, because if you're Hendrickson, the clock is your best friend. You want that clock to tick and not stop. Just run the ball. If you don't get the first down, so what? You want to kill as much clock as possible. They're not going to throw it till at least third, and I would doubt they're going to throw it again at all.
Yeah, new quarterback in the game as
wow,
well
it's gotten
for
that
Hendrickson.
bad.
Number 17, Adam Cousins. He is a junior
who has put up some stats this year, but boy, it's gotten that bad to where they're going to change quarterbacks.
Run the counter that time to the running back, once again, number 5, Jackson, and he's going to pick up maybe, or actually, pardon me, he's going to lose half a yard, it looks like, as they're going to mark him back at the 42 and set up a 3rd down and 6. And the clock is not running right now, and I'm not sure. Okay,
what's your complaint?
No, I'm not complaining at all. I was trying to see how much time was left. And
this kid at the quarterback, Cousins, 34 of 72 for 332 yards. I get the feeling he's come in late in games to just kind of clean up the game. Hendrickson's had some pretty one-sided scores this year.
Yeah,
most teams at this level of the playoffs have had a lot of blowout wins.
That's true. Yeah, I was hoping there was 10:42 left in the first quarter, but unfortunately not.
I'm not sure that would do him any good, to be honest with you.
Timion Jackson with the carry for 1 yard. So it's going to be 4th down and 4.
Look who made the tackle. That's Cedric Johnson, unless somebody else is wearing his old uniform. No, is Cedric number 6?
Cedric is number 6.
I cannot believe he just was on that tackle. It looks like Cedric supposedly had a torn knee and was out for the season, and you would put him in a game like this. I'm really surprised if that's Cedric Johnson. And yet he is wearing number 6 and has that build. But it's a defensive lineman he's lining up as right now. I'm suspicious of this.
So the Hawks looking to punt it away here. 1 second remaining on the play clock, and they get the rugby-style punt off. Drew Jackson's going to let it bounce, and then the Hawks going to down it at the 23. So the Mustang offense will come back on the field. A good job by the defense to hold the Hawks to a 3 and out. And again, time becoming an issue, obviously, now for Sachse.
Well, you got to score on every possession, and you've got to maybe get a turnover or 2 from the other team, and you've got to come up with a defensive stop. In other words, there needs to be a lot of 1, 2, 3 punts from Hendrickson, and we just hadn't seen it since the first quarter. But you've got to keep throwing it. You got to throw it deep if you're Sachse. You can't just run it or dink it anymore, which they tried to do, but they cannot get the protection from Maiden. You know, that's broken down here in the second half.
Yes, it has.
They've done actually a pretty good job with that rush all day.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 24-yard line. Empty backfield look once again. There's a snap, a low snap to Maiden. He's able to get it out of the off the turf, and boy, a nice throw down the sideline, and stepping out of bounds after a gain of almost 17. However, is, I believe that's number 17 with the catch as well.
Cameron Cromer, Trent Dean. There was one defender over there who had a shot at him, and see right there, what a great clearing, decleating block by Trent Dean.
So a 17-yard gain, and also stops the clock by getting out of bounds. So Mustangs look to keep the drive alive here. 1st and 10, there's a snap. Maiden with some pressure, but gets it out quickly to Cromers. They're starting to play a little bit of a safety defense here, as they're just dropping, looks like they're rushing, I should say, only 3. As they're content to let Sachse kind of, get yards up the field, as long as they don't let anything get behind it for a quick score.
34 seniors on this Sachse team could be playing their final quarter here, and a lot of those are big names. Christian Cole, Jalen Maiden, just to name 2 right off the top.
They bring 4 this time with pressure, but no pressure. Maiden looks across the middle. He's got a wide open receiver, and guess what? Good sign for the Mustangs is that catch was made by number 7, Derek Rose, who's back in the game.
Yeah, just a simple crossing route. It's easier to get open on crossing routes than any other route. And nobody was even trailing him. I got the feeling they've dropped into a deep zone here. Yep. You don't want to give up that much, but just keep everything in front of you.
1st and 10 Mustangs at the 18-yard line. Maiden looking to throw it. Now the pressure comes from behind, and he's going to go down.
Well, he never saw the defender at his back. He stepped up. When you step up, you'll lose track of anybody who was behind you, and number 31 just stepped up and hit him from behind. You're lucky you don't lose the ball as the quarterback on an unexpected hit from J.P. Epps. 403 yards for Hendrickson compared to 289. That's a big story right there.
2-yard loss on the sack there. Second down and 12. There's a snap. Maiden looking to throw it. Here comes pressure from around the end again. He steps up. Boy, great play by Maiden. And then he's just going to kind of shovel it forward to, I believe that's number 7, or pardon me, that's 17, Cromer. So Cromer's touched the ball quite often here in the fourth quarter.
One of the big changes this week compared to most of the season, Maiden has not been able to scramble very well. He's had time to find his initial receivers, but once it breaks down, Hendrickson's done a great job of keeping him contained. His good runs have come off of play calls where they asked him to run with it. Scrambling has been unavailable most of the day, and that's been a key, I think. We got a golf course over to the right over here, Steve. Did you see that? 3rd
down and 8. There's the throw, and a first down catch is made by number 7, Derek Rose. And
it might be a par 3 course.
Yeah.
Actually, I've played that course. I think that's Cottonwood Creek or something.
I believe that's correct.
I mean, one of those holes is almost in the end zone over here. Again, they're giving them a huge cushion right now, just, making them work and work that clock even if they score. It's working because the clock's down to 7:22. Just don't give up a big play. Make them take 10 plays to score, and it's working very effectively.
So 1st and goal for the Mustangs at the 6-yard line. They're looking to cut this lead to 21 here if they can get it in the end zone with the extra point. Maiden looking to throw it. He's got time. He's going to scramble out to his left, throws it to the end zone, and in and out of the hands of number 11, Trent Dean, I believe.
Well, if you're going to throw that pass and throw it as hard as Jalen did, you better hit the receiver in the stomach, because that was an almost impossible catch. It was a little bit wide and thrown really hard, and Trent really never had a chance, as you'll see here.
Here's a look at it again, and
almost holding there. See there, I mean, it just was not a good pass.
Yeah, he just fired it in.
He barely got maybe a fingertip on it.
So 2nd and goal. Trips look to the top of your screen. One receiver to the bottom. Maiden's going to roll to his left, throw towards the end zone. The catch is made. Trent Dean. That is an easy touchdown, and just like that, the Mustangs back within 3 possessions.
Steve, I mean, I'm going to say it right now, and I truly believe what I'm getting ready to say. Sachse has a chance. It might only be a 5 to 10% chance, but you get the extra point. I think they're going to have to start trying the onside kicks.
Absolutely.
The problem is they cannot stop Hendrickson. If they had had some defensive stops here in the second half, I think their chances would be a whole lot better, as that was Cedric Johnson. So that is somebody else wearing his number 6.
Extra point attempt for the Mustangs is up and good. So a little bit of life here for the Mustangs. This game not over. Look at number 11, Trent Dean, on the sideline, who just scored the touchdown as we head to break. Our score was 7:09 remaining. Hendrickson 42, Sachse 21.
If they drive 40 yards or 70 yards, what difference does it make? Actually, they drive 40 yards a lot quicker than 70 yards.
Look at Trent Dean there on the bench as we are back from break. And he is a junior receiver, so he will be back next year. And a nice touchdown reception by him. Boy, but the Mustangs, they just, offensively, they've just not been able to get things going much here. They've just scored their 21st point of the game, and we've only got 7:09 remaining. So the Hawks, of course, certainly thinking onside kick here. Let's see what the Mustangs elect to do, as they do have it overloaded there on the left side.
With a right-footed kicker, so they're going to go for it here.
So here's your onside kick. Boy, and that one's an easy one. Goes right to the Hawk return man, and he's able to grab it. I believe that's number 6. Emmanuel Wheeler. And of course, I make that sound like it's the easiest thing in the world to do, but what you want to try to do, of course, is get that kick, to get that big hop. And that one just kind of stayed right there on the ground.
You do that by grounding the kick, but you hit, when you kick it, you kick the top half of that ball, which will give it like the third hop, could be a good hop for you. He got none of that kind of action on the ball. That's why it was an easy play. If you're Hendrickson, you don't have to have a first down here. Just run 3 plays and get as much time off that clock, and it'll eventually make it impossible for Sachse, as if it isn't already.
So number 17, Adam Cousins, is still in the game. A quarterback.
Still a little surprised by that.
But 22, Jackson, is back on the field, and he takes the handoff up the middle for a yard.
They feel it's important enough to have Jackson out there. So you think that, you know, the first person you concern yourself with whether to pull or not is your quarterback, because of snaps and things like that. And yet he was the first one they pulled. Makes me wonder if he may have an injury or something. I doubt. Now he's throwing the ball down here. Why would you have him warming up on the sideline? I guess he's always throwing a ball, and so he's just doing it just for the fun of it.
So a gain of a yard on that last carry by DJ Jackson. 2nd down and 9. Again, they're running as much time off the clock with each play.
Play clock under 5.
Exactly.
And they're not going to get this one off, Steve.
Yeah, that time they took a little too much time. They're going to have to call timeouts.
They could have done that on purpose. I would doubt it.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's just keep it here, Scott, and talk a little bit about this game. Again, you know, coming in, Sachse, obviously, you know, probably to everyone outside of the Pflugerville area, you know, with Sachse, everybody, I think, expected them to come in here and win this game. Number 4 ranked in the state, undefeated, 12-0. Really haven't had much, you know, teams that have been close to him this year. They've blown out pretty much everybody that they've played. And, you know, Hendrickson's just did a good job here today to kind of keep them off balance.
Yeah, I thought the offense of whoever was making the play calls was the MVP in the first half. They had Sachse on their heels, especially early. They went with that hurry-up offense, which might have been a little surprising. And Sachse just didn't know what they were going to do next and couldn't stop them. They hadn't done a much better job in the second half of stopping them. You know, 21 points is not bad from Sachse.
Quarterback keeps it up the middle and gains nothing, and I believe the Mustangs may have used a timeout here, and they do.
You know, we keep praising the Hendrickson offense. Their defense is covered well in the secondary. They've gotten a great pass rush all day long. I think, again, that's been one of the keys. Jalen Maid's a good scrambler. He's a good avoider. Well, he's been able to run the ball at times on called runs for him. But when he's dropped back to pass, he's had very little pocket, and he's stepped up and he's stepped right into trouble all day long. They've hemmed him in very well.
Yes, they have indeed. And so we're inside of 7 minutes, approaching 6 minutes, and I was wondering when Coach Behrens was going to start using timeouts, and he picked this time to do it. Of course, it's going to be 3rd down and long, so he uses his first timeout of the second half. They still have 2 remaining.
I'll say it one more time. Again, the chances are now probably 3%. This game is not over, but we're almost to 0%. We're getting there. There's still half the 4th quarter to go here.
There's a look at Coach Red Behrens there on the sidelines, and boy, congratulations to him. Either, you know, regardless of whether he wins or loses tonight, 12-0 record. Of course, they were 6-0, undefeated in district play, and the furthest they've ever made it to the playoffs. He's had a great year this year, and this has been a great team for the Mustangs. Rollout pass, or looking to throw it here, which is interesting. And in and out of the hands. So
real interesting.
It's real interesting. It stops the clock, and Sachse now.
Even if they completed it, I don't agree with the call, because you got a chance of stopping the clock. It almost was picked off, by the way. Boy, you certainly punt the ball here, I would think.
Here's a look at it again, in and out of the hands.
Then again, you don't want to take a chance of a high snap or something. Don't be surprised if they go for this, Steve, because you're going to give it to them inside the 50 if you get a couple of yards, and they look like they're going for it. This does not shock me.
No, they're going to step back here and punt it away, Scott. I think you've got to punt it here.
Well, I would get rid of it quickly.
Rugby style.
Rugby, and he almost got it blocked.
And it goes straight up in the air. And it bounces out of bounds at around the 33-yard line.
They're pretty confident, I'll tell you. They got their backup quarterback in there. They try and punt it. They try a rugby style where it almost got blocked. It might have gone through the arms of the guy rushing him. I mean, they're living on the edge here.
Yes, they are.
Wow, how do you not block that?
Again, I'll go back to it, boy, just an interesting play call there on third down. I understand what the coach, you know, if the pass is complete, boy, the Hawks coaching staff, they're geniuses because they picked up a fresh set of downs. They can run more time, but
I believe that sometimes you judge a decision by the decision, not by the result.
So 1st and 10 Mustangs. If they can get a quick score here, Scott, we've got a ball game once again. Maiden looking to throw it across the middle, and boy, nobody there. And he may have been held up that time, but no flag is thrown.
I always like to look to Red Barons when I put my arms in the air, my palms in the air. Red Barons had his palms in the air. It looked like he was held more than interference. Here's your replay. We may not see it from this angle, but maybe.
Yeah, look to the left side of your screen there. Yeah, it was hard to pick up.
Kind of hard to tell, yeah.
But it does indeed look like the receiver was held up momentarily. So 2nd down, Maiden looking to run it. And he's got to try to get out of bounds here. Picks up as many yards as he can. He does pick up the 1st down, so it'll stop the clock momentarily.
He's able to do what they've had trouble with all day, getting out of the pocket and getting good yardage. Steve, he had a long run to get to the sideline, so I kind of agree with get what you can when you're starting from the middle of the field. He may have tried and still not gotten out of bounds.
We're inside of 5.5 minutes now. Maiden looking to throw it. Holds the ball. Now he's going to tuck it, looking to run once again. And he's going to be tackled from behind right at midfield. And a gain of about 4 yards. But more importantly, the clock continues to run as we approach 5 minutes.
Boy, look at Jalen, the body line. He looks tired, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He is moseying back to that line of scrimmage. Right after I said they've had trouble doing this all day, he makes 2 nice runs out of the pocket.
Maiden has time, throws across the middle, catch is made, and then sliding down at the 30 is number 7 once again.
Hendrickson's trying to say that the ball was on the turf. They're just trying to buy a call. It looked like a good call all the way. We'll see it here on the replay, whether he dropped it. Perfect pass, by the way. I think he kept it off the turf, and good play.
Yeah, I think so too.
You got to score pretty quickly here, Steve.
1st and 10 at the 30. Maiden throws outside. The catch is made. Boy, get out of bounds.
Yeah.
Boy, number 9, Drew Jackson, doesn't get out of bounds. He does make the catch.
Close to the 1st down. That's a positive. In other words, the clock is stopped momentarily to move the chains. Could be worse. Get up there and you run the next play as quickly as you possibly can. That's what you've got to be ready for as they now start the clock.
1st and 10 at the 20 now.
Don't give up back in Garland.
There's a snap. Maiden looking to throw it. Still looking. Here it comes from behind. Going to throw it towards the end zone and just out of the reach of his intended receiver.
On 1st down with the clock running, that's not a bad incompletion.
Looking once again for Derek Rose, who's had a big game here.
The only thing that's not going to work, Steve, are all these short passes. You're going to have to bust a big one somewhere to give yourself a chance. You're going to have to take some shots. Hendrickson is letting you have these 10-yard completions. Every one of them that you want, you've got. And it's not going to do you a lot of good when that clock finally runs out on your season.
2nd down and 10. Maiden looking to throw. Here comes pressure, but he gets the throw out and out of bounds. A great play there by Cromer.
Now, if you do get out of bounds, every 10-yarder is much more valuable. If you don't get out of bounds, it's a killer. Good job here by Cromer. Of course, they ran an out pattern where it's kind of hard not to get out of bounds.
3rd down and 1, but there's still plenty of time in this game. 4:13.
Well, I wouldn't call it plenty, but the percentages are about 3% now. Would you agree? Maybe 5%. Put a percentage on it after this play.
Maiden looking to throw it to the end zone. The catch is made for a touchdown. And just like that, the Mustangs are within 2 scores.
Guess who? Derek Rose. Now what would your percentage be on a possible comeback win?
I'm going to give him about 20% at this point.
Oh, I'd go up to 10, maybe. That clock is the biggest problem, Steve. You've got to recover an onside kick here, I would think, to have any chance.
So the extra point coming up here.
I'd love for Hendrickson to throw some footballs in the air instead of run the football.
Like they did on that last
possession.
On
3rd down. Look how much that saved right there.
Kick is up, and the extra point is good, so don't go away just yet.
Who predicted it about 20 minutes ago? I said, I know this might sound crazy, but I really mean what I'm going to say. Sachse has a chance. I said that quite a while ago.
Derek Rose with the touchdown. We'll take a quick break. Our score, Hendrickson 42, Sachse 28 on GRS TV. Boy, there's a look on the sideline at number 7 for the Sachse Mustangs. That was Derek Rose after making a touchdown catch, and mentioned how big of a game he's having. 8 catches, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns today for the junior wide receiver.
And he is a junior, by the way. I was just looking at that. He's one of the key players who will be back next year. He'll be the main receiver, I'm sure, next year. Shoot, he's the main receiver right now.
Well, I tell you what, that was a great kick that time, and the Mustangs almost came up with the recovery as it did bounce up high. Watch this, Scott, on the replay. He gets the hop I was mentioning right here, goes over the place. Look, right here, it's loose. Boy, but number 3 is able to grab it.
If they could have popped that kid as he reached back to get it, they could have popped it loose. Timing is everything, and it was not with Sachse there.
So starting quarterback for the Hawks back on the field now, that number 12, Blaine Barker. And
yeah, I like the decision.
Yeah, the Mustangs the Mustangs have 2 timeouts left, so you would assume they're going to use both of them here on this possession. Here goes the fake handoff. Quarterback tries to get outside, but he's going to lose about 5 yards, and Red quickly calls a timeout.
Tell you, it's going to take an onside kick recovery, and it's going to have to be next time, if there is a next time. But I'd say the percentage is now 15 to 20%. All I want is credit when they come back and win this game. That's all I want.
So the second timeout of the second half is called out. That'll leave the Mustangs with 1. We'll keep it here as you take a look at the band for the Mustangs.
Tell you what you worry about in this situation. You figure they're going to run the ball. If that back like Jackson gets to the second level, slips through a hole, he could probably go the distance. Let's check how many people are inching up on that Sachse defense, because when you do that, if you bust it and get to that third level, you're gone with Jackson's speed. And that's the one thing Sachse doesn't need. One big play, and you definitely can say this game is over.
So second down and 15 now after the 5-yard loss. And
look at the way they're spreading the field, though, with 3 receivers. Spread out that defense a little bit. Yeah, there's not a lot in the box, but look right up the middle if he was to slip one to the next level.
Jet sweep look here. Quarterback keeps it up the middle. He's going to be taken down after no gain. And the Mustangs use their final timeout.
I like the use of the timeouts, by the way. As you look across the way, there's a lot of people on their feet over there on the Sachse side. And I'm seeing a lot of cheering. They still seem to be in the game. I think they feel like over there there's still a chance.
Oh, there
I don't think
definitely
I'm
is.
crazy.
So
I looked crazy at 42 to 14. I'll admit that.
So the third and final timeout called here by the Mustangs, so they will have none. But more importantly, the Hawks are going to be facing a 3rd down and 15. And you know, again, as tempted as you might be to pass here, you've got to keep it on the ground. You've got to.
Well, because Sachse has no timeout, so you run a play, you don't get it, and then you run that play clock down, maybe even take a timeout and get as much time off before you punt the ball away. And remember, they're behind the chain, so they would punt if it's like this on 4th down, 4th and 14, 4th and 15.
So here we go. Big play, obviously, in this game. 3rd down at about 15.
Here's a prediction. I'd run some kind of naked bootleg, get fake one way, have Barker go the other way, and hope you fool Sachse. And it's a pretty safe play, too.
There's they hand it off. And Jackson does not escape the tackle of number 44. That is a huge play in the game.
Mr. Starnes, Kilo Starnes, who replaced Cedric Jackson. Right now, that's the first step to a big comeback. If they can, they're going to have to score pretty quickly, though, Steve, and then get an onside kick.
So they run the two-step counter, and he's going to lose a yard on the play. So the Sachse defense coming up big.
If he did not get that tackle, I think the game is over, because with Jackson's speed, he might have gone the distance. He would have been in the open field at least, and then you got to chase him down somehow. That's a huge tackle from Kilo Starnes.
So here we go again. Number 9, Drew Jackson, set to return the kick. And there's a snap, a good snap. The kick is away, and Jackson may have a chance to return this one. And he breaks one tackle, trying to get outside, but he's going to be taken down around the 27. More importantly, we are inside of 3 minutes to go.
You know, pretty nice punt distance-wise. It had very little hang time, which meant it was very returnable, but give credit to that punt coverage. They had people down there in a hurry. As low as that kick was, you figured it would lead to a nice return, and he got a little bit, but it could have been a lot more.
So again, to set the game for you right here, the Mustangs with the 1st and 10 at their own 27. No timeouts remaining, and they trail in this game by 14.
It's a lot more surmountable than 42-14 was a little while ago. And there was only, remember I said there was about 6 minutes left when I made that prediction, so they haven't killed a lot of clock since then.
So here we go. We know the Mustangs can score in a hurry. Maiden looking to throw it. He throws it outside to Cromer, who gets out of bounds after a gain of about 2. Stops the clock, of course.
You gotta, what you're hoping for here is some crossing routes. They're the easiest routes to get open on, especially if they're in a zone. So go with a crossing route. That's what your deeper shot is. But I have a feeling they're not going to go real deep. They're going to stay a little conservative.
Going to send Cromer in motion here.
Look at the safeties. They're not very deep.
There's a snap. Maiden throws a quick out to Cromer. Oh, and he breaks the tackle. Guess what? Down the sideline, finally knocked out of bounds, but he's inside Hawk territory at the 37.
Do you believe? I believed about 3 minutes ago. Do you believe? Red Barons rooting on Mr. Cromer down that sideline.
Maiden looking to throw the screen pass. Cole's got a lot of room out here. He's across the 30, and he gets out of bounds at around the 24. So, boy, the Mustangs are not taking much time off the clock.
Right now, if I'm a coach, if I'm a special teams coach, I'm working with that kicker on the sideline. Do you remember how to kick the onside kick? I'm practicing it right now. That's going to be the key to this comeback. You're going to have to get one onside kick recovered.
There's a snap. Maiden looking to throw it. He's got all sorts of time. Throws it for Dean, and he overthrows him. Dean was sitting at a curl route at around the 11, and he just a little out of his reach.
When you overthrow like that, when they're playing real soft with deep safeties, those kind of plays are so easily picked off. They're lucky that was not intercepted because that was really tall. Look, it was also wobbly. It looked like he slipped off his hand maybe.
2nd down and 10. Maiden looking to throw it. Here he comes outside, and the catch is made. That should be enough for the 1st down. Once again, his leading receiver, number 7, Derek Rose.
Hey, let's say this right now. There's no quitting the Mustangs. We certainly can't say they quit today.
Absolutely not.
He did not get out of bounds, unfortunately, but it was a tough, nice catch. 1st and 10. Still 2 minutes.
Yes, snap. Maiden throw to the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs.
And guess who? Do we need to say who, folks? Do you know who number 7 is yet? You should. He's had a heck of a day. That's Derek Rose. Without Derek Rose, where would Sachse be today? We're going to give you his updated stats here in a moment. Oh, he's hurt, though, unfortunately. I think he got hurt earlier, Steve, and he's probably still feeling it. But remember the shoulder injury? This looks like a shoulder, maybe. Yeah, oh, boy, and we've got another injured Mustang. What's the number? It looked like 18.
No, I believe that's 78. That is Miles McAdory, and they can ill afford to lose him.
No. A nice little timeout here, though, to rest. I mean, you know, everybody's on a knee out there. You can drop the proverbial pin and hear it drop. It's so quiet in here except for my big mouth. He's in some pain down there, Steve, and just the look on his face.
Well, they're taking a look at him. We're going to take a break. We've got 2:18 remaining here in the game. Our score, Hendrickson 42, Sachse 34.
You sound like a golf announcer. You're real quiet now.
Boy, so excitement, and then, you know, you see it kind of leave the park as they escort out number 78, Miles McAdory, and hopefully he's going to be okay, but that does not look good.
And if they can get their offense back on the field, what you do is say, who's our best pass rusher our best pass protector on the bench? They don't need a run blocker. They need a pass blocker if they can get the ball back.
Extra point, a big one here, and it's good.
It's amazing how little time has come off that clock while they've been doing this, Steve. I believe at 42-14, there was 6 minutes and 15 seconds on that clock. Now they're within 7, and there's still 2 minutes and 17 seconds. They could use the onside kick, but I don't think it's absolutely essential. They're going to have a little bit of time left, hopefully, even if they stop a 1-2-3.
Yeah, you've got it onside here, Scott, because with
I
no
agree.
timeouts
I'm not
left,
arguing. I'm saying even if they don't get it, they have a slim chance of getting the ball back with just a few seconds left.
Right. So
you've got to try the onside kick. I'm not arguing with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go, and this is going to be the game here. And, boy, I'll tell you what, how big, once again, was that third down pass call by Hendrickson when it was still 42-21. Now all of a sudden it's 42-35.
Because then you could say they definitely could run out the clock if you don't get the onside kick. Now I think there's a slim chance they'll have a few seconds anyway.
So here we go.
And it's going to be Reyes again that's going to try the kick.
Yeah, this is when the pressure gets a lot greater. And
let's remember, the last one was a good one. It was just a great look. Here we go.
And the ball's loose. I think Hendrickson got it. I don't think it went 10 yards either, quite frankly. But Hendrickson did fall on it. Once again, number 3, man, Tobias Harris has been big on these onside kicks. Scott, if we get to see the replay here, we haven't. Here we go from our camera crew. I don't think it gets 10 before it gets touched by Sachse. Let's see. Here it is right there.
It's close. Kind of hard to tell, wasn't it, from the replay?
It was, but number 3 comes up with the big play, and now Hendrickson can take a knee 3 times. And the scenario, as you said, Scott, there's only going to be seconds left.
But I think Sachse could get the ball back. It's a 25-second clock.
There's a snap. They're going to wildcat it. And
come on, out of bounds.
Jackson, he's going to cut it in bounds and stays in bounds, so the clock will continue to run, and that's a nice gain of about 6.
What are you doing running outside, Steve? Why give it a chance of getting knocked out of bounds? You run between the tackles. You don't even get near the numbers. I cannot believe the play call. Even if he gets first down, so what? What if he got out of bounds? You know, you start over.
So Hendrickson taking all the time off the clock. You see the quarterback run over and talk to the coach, and now he's back on the field as the play clock is approaching 10.
I almost take a knee here just to avoid the guy running out of bounds.
Well, that's why I said you take a knee 3 times.
Yeah.
But here we go, because you can have a fumble, anything else. Quarterback with a keeper. He's got a first down. That should do it now, because now all they have to do is take a knee.
Yeah. 25. Well, the play clock starts now, but they haven't restarted the clock. Now they restart the clock. Yeah, I think you're right now. Even if you had to run a play on 4th, I think the game is over. And I think it's only going to take 3 snaps now. Well, give Sachse credit. They almost did it.
Boy, they sure did.
Right now it's 13-12 on the play, 107-106 on the game.
Yeah, they're going to line up in victory formations. They're going to drop DJ Jackson back, and he has had a great game. DJ Jackson.
Sure.
There's the snap, and there's your knee, and they will let the clock continue to run. Boy, and I'll tell you what, this final minute, Scott, again, just want to give a shout-out and kudos to the Sachse Mustangs on the tremendous year that they had.
34 seniors are playing their last game.
This Mustang team, you know, coming into the season, I think we all knew how good they were going to be. And, you know, 12-0, they were undefeated up until this mark, and they're not going to quite get it done today. But, boy, a heck of an effort, too, in the 4th quarter to come back when it was down 42-14.
Just started about 1 possession too late. If they had started it 2-3 minutes earlier, they could get the ball back here.
And we watch the final seconds tick down, and once again say congratulations, Coach Red Barons and the Sachse Mustangs. A heck of a year, and I'll tell you what, they will be back as well. They've got a lot of talent. Even though you mentioned the senior, Scott, they've got a lot of talent returning.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, the mark of a good program is when you lose 34 seniors, that's when you find out if you have a program or just a team. A program reloads. You don't rebuild with a program that's good. You reload. And don't be surprised if Sachse's right back as a district champion next year. They're still going to be a good football team, I'm sure.
Absolutely. They've got a lot of seniors who are losing, but one player they do have coming back is
Derek Rose.
Their receiver, Derek Rose, 10 catches, 152 yards, and 3 touchdowns today. So great game by that young man, but I think we are now ready to sign off from Waco ISD Stadium. Scott Powell along with Steve Reeves. We've enjoyed it. Our final score, Hendrickson 42, Sachse 35. We'll see you next time on GRS TV.